talking about. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another amazing edition of Adventures in Middle-earth, Wilderland Adventures. It is day 47 of Adventures in Middle-earth, Wilderland Adventures, sponsored by Cubicle 7. I am your humble host, Arvin Elleron, and I am coming to you live with the power of ArvBox, finally, although finding a place to do this was difficult. I just want you all to know that I love you all so much that I actually left the place where I'm currently with my family, where I was reliably told that we would have internet. I was told, oh yeah, there's definitely internet. There's good internet. There's high quality internet. And I'm here to tell you that less than 1 megabyte upload is not good quality internet. And I drove 40 minutes down to get to this Starbucks, undisclosed Starbucks, where I managed to find actual functional living internet that actually works and exists. So we're here, but that music that you hear in the background / the sounds of baristas is the sound of Starbucks behind you. But we are here. We have the whole crew, and I'm very excited about it. And I have some news and info for you as well. Before we get there, just a reminder about ways to support the stream. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow the channel. Please check out the YouTube with !ArvTube, the Discord with !ArvCord. Please make sure to check out as well the website, arvinelleron.com. Podcast is speculatesf.com as well for that Mike and I do. Speaking of Mike, I want to congratulate them very quickly on Hearts of Wulin last night. I did have a chance to see a few minutes of the debut before my internet collapsed. I thought Hearts of Wulin went very well. If you didn't see it, definitely check out the next edition of it next month. We're very excited to introduce it. We're not done introducing new content, but I'm very glad to be able to have that because that's super important and that would make a difference and all that kind of stuff. So, but thank you so much to Mike and the rest of the crew, to Saad and all that stuff for doing it as well. As for us here, we also have the financial ways to support the channel, and that is by checking out the shop. Right now, my Adventures in Middle-earth players are perusing the shop, oohing and eyeing at the different shirts and material that they can get. !Arv shop for that. The Patreon, of course, which is the sort of financial backbone of the channel, sitting at $347.96. That's !Arvtreon. And the sub button. We are at 86 subs right now, which is pretty amazing. 86 subs is crazy. It's actually over the goal that I set for the end of the year. So we're doing really well, so please consider jumping on board with that. I should also mention, since I see Kilobyte's name, that Kilobyte did the amazing Hearts of Wulin video, as he did the Adventures in Middle-earth video as well. So he did a great job on that. But anyway, so ArvTreon for that, and the sub button, so definitely do that as well. But the biggest thing that we are pushing, folks, and I really need everybody's help here, is our Kickstarter. The Jelinek Icarus Kickstarter, which is currently running, is just about to go into its second, or actually to finish up, I should say, its second week. So we're within a day or so of being halfway through the Kickstarter. And we are doing okay, but candidly, we're not doing well enough yet. We really need to sort of pick up the pace. And for those of you who have been able to pledge and have been able to support, I'm incredibly grateful. I don't want you to go running out and being like, I must do even more. You've already done an amazing job. And no one is obligated to do any of this, of course. But if you are at all interested in wonderful art, if you are interested in what I hope is good story, if you are interested in really getting together a team, a story that is about, I think, hope, about community, about compassion, in an age which needs, I would say, a fair bit of all of those things, then having the Icarus Jelinek Kickstarter supporting it would be enormously helpful. To that end, I should say, and this is especially important today, because tomorrow is a day when Kickstarter is actually going to feature this project on their front page. That is very exciting. Kickstarter really believes in this project, and they've already marked it as a project we love, in quotes. They also have marked it for being featured, and that's really awesome. I'm really thankful to Kickstarter, but Kickstarter can only do so much. It's relying on everybody else that sort of jumps on board. And so what I want to ask everybody to do is, if you're able to pledge yourself, wonderful. If you are able to spread the word, that's great. But what really helps is being able to spread the word to places that I wouldn't otherwise know about. Letting people know if you frequent, comics websites, or if you ever go to like a graphics novel Reddit or so on. We've tried to hit some of these places individually, but we're only a small team and we can only hit so many things. So any kind of stuff that you can do to spread the word, let people know about it, talk to your local comic shops, anything like that that you're able to do individually is really, really appreciated. You are not responsible, I should say, for whatever individually happens with me, but as a community, if you're able to sort of jump together and help with something like this, it is really very much appreciated. So please consider that, and make sure, the other thing, of course, is to make sure you're watching the streams, because this Thursday we've got Emberwind coming up, which is going to be, of course, John and crew, and then Friday I'm going to have my streamathon, during which I'm going to try to do a lot of crazy stuff, whatever stuff I possibly can do to make stuff happen. We will be doing giveaways here. As we hit 3,100, we will do a giveaway. If we hit 3,200 today, then I'm going to be giving the party inspirations. So we've got lots of things that will affect things mechanically here, but I need everyone to help. I'll even eat raisins. Yes, I will. I will absolutely do that if that's what it takes. There are some limits to what I will do, but that is not one of them. I will, as much as it pains me to say it and admit it, I will do it because I believe in this project. So please, 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 let people know and spread the word, and thank you all so much for all the help you've given so far as it is. Okay, with that said, let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of, where are we? Let me get rid of that, and let me turn on, where's my webcam at? Let me turn on, oh, not that one. Not that one, silly person. That one, there we go. Hi everyone, good to see you all. So yes, we are here. I have worked out a few of my OBS problems, not all of them. We still have some issues that are currently being worked through, but we have basically got a lot of these stuff sort of figured out. So welcome, welcome. And I'm very happy to say that I have my incredibly patient crew with me playing, so I am looking forward to bringing them in. And I'm going to unmute myself so they know that we are ready to go, and then I'm going to unmute them as I usually do, like so, and then I'm going to move over to them. There they are. Look at that delightful, amazing, incredible crew, known only as Adventures in Middle-earth. Chat, it is my great pleasure to welcome to you the greatest Tolkien crew that exists on Twitch. I would say that's a fair statement, because I don't know of anyone else playing this campaign on Twitch, and also they're the best, so there's all that. But I'm going to start, as per usual, with the gentleman who is right below me. Hello, Mr. Trendane Sparks. Welcome, welcome. How is life in the universe and everything?
I'll take a venti chai latte, 8 pump, no water.
I will get right on that.
I doubt that.
Although it's amazing, by the way, how many people keep going by and being like craning their heads around to see what I'm doing, because I'm just at a counter. So they're all, yeah, it's very funny. Anyway.
How are things going? Yeah. I decided, I guess it was about 1:30 this morning, very shortly after I sent that tweet that you guys were all like, I'm like, what are you doing awake? Before I remembered you're on this coast. But I was getting ready to lay down and go to sleep. And I laid down and I could feel the sleepiness taking hold. And I blinked. And it was like 5 minutes later and I was wide awake. I'm like, son of a bitch. And I just watched the clock just start ticking over. And about 4 a.m., I'm like, that's it. I'm going to go make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That'll knock me out. And I'll get up when it's time to do the thing. And so I went and I'm making a peanut butter sandwich. I'm like, I look up and I'm like, the hummingbird feeder's empty. And so I go out and I grab the hummingbird feeder and I'm mixing up some stuff. And I'm, why am I doing this at 4 o'clock in the morning? So yeah, it's like that scene with Phil Hartman from whatever that show was that he was on that wasn't about the drugs.
Saturday Night Live?
No. There's a thing. But he has to go out for milk or something, and like he goes out to the garage and tries to start the car and it doesn't work. And like hours later, his wife comes out and he's on a mechanic's roller under the car with a wrench doing something. She's like, I thought you were going out for milk. He's like, what does it look like I'm doing? Because it's like everything he tried to do, something else was wrong.
I have so many feels for that right at this moment, Trent. You have no idea.
Yeah, I do, actually. I do. But yeah, me thing. Was up until about, like I said, until about, actually I did get up at one point and I was like, I can't sleep, I might as well edit. So I was like, all right, gray shade, let's go. And I just started editing through the thing until I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna go to sleep. Okay, fine, everything's good. So yeah, lots of work and craziness.
And there'll be good reason to be doing work on that, he said subtly, but we'll see. Anyway, who are you playing today, Trent?
A guy.
Yeah, but I mean, more specific.
Well, yeah, his name is Tawny Bear. He's known as Tawny Bear the Hearthminder. He is a master healer and a pacifist, mostly, who believes in dreams much more than his friends do, apparently. Sometimes.
Yes. That's funny. Yes, and I'm sure it'll stay funny even throughout this whatever's about to happen right here.
Sure. Yeah.
Which, yeah, I'm looking forward to how that's going to work. But I'm very much excited to have Trent with us as always. And moving right down the line, I'm also excited to have Mr. Will Jones with us. It is a pleasure to have you, Will. Of course, the master of encounter roleplay and all things and sundry. How are you, sir? Is the Kobold Press thing almost up and running? Close to up and running?
Yeah. We're set for a July launch right now. We're just doing sort of show prep, casting, building the guts of the network and server building and computer building. So yeah, it's all happening. It's just sort of just around the corner right now. So yeah, I'm trying to settle into a new routine, doing less work, as I've been talking to you about. I've been not working so much at the moment, which has been nice. Actually, I say that last week was really busy, but I'm in a new routine. I'm waking up, I'm working out, I'm eating healthy. It's all good. It's a very middle class lifestyle over here in Toronto right now. We're taking mental health days right now. That's what we're doing. So
That's good. Yeah.
that's but no, genuinely it is good. I'm having a lot of fun, and so I found myself last night. The last thing I did, reading Trent's tweet about today, and then all night I actually dreamed about this game, and I dreamed that Arv messaged us and told us what was going to happen, and the Riders of Rohan came in to save us at this. While we were battling, and
that is quite a dream.
Wait, they came to save us in the battle, or they came to save us from the spoilers that Arf was gonna drop?
Right.
they came to save us from the battle, and then and Arv was like, "I'm sorry for like spoiling. I'm sorry for like ruining all of this for you." And like so when I woke up this morning, I was like semi-convinced that had happened. You know, when you have those dreams, it's like, that's real enough where like Arv might have messaged us to say something about that. So I was like, did that happen last night? Checking all my Discord messages. It didn't happen, but if that does now happen, just saying, I am pretty psychic. So watch out.
Awesome.
I'll be playing Robust Taunton, who sees things in his dreams. Yeah, we'll see if any of the Riddermark are with us today, I guess. But no, we're headed into a battle that I suspect will be a very tough one. There may be some eagles helping us, but I doubt that there'll be any of the Rohirrim today.
That's true. It is funny though, the idea of having like literally, the cavalry shows up, right? Like literally, this cavalry comes up and it's like, yep, here we are. So we'll see if that actually happens. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Will was frozen for a little bit, but is now fixed, as you can see. Just as he finished, he came out of his dream story and he was actually moving. So that's great.
Then I was awake.
So we are looking forward to seeing how that handles. I really enjoyed Robar's uncomfortable leadership processes of having to talk with people, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that continues today. Moving right along down the line, of course, we have the wonderful Terry Tunes, who said to us, quote, I was like, how you doing? She's like, I'm warm. So apparently she's warm, and I don't know exactly all of what that means, but I'm sure she'll tell us. Hi, Terry. How's life in the universe?
I am warm because it's 40 degrees outside. It's the worst.
Which is like 9,000 Fahrenheit, right? Is that?
Yeah, we looked that up. It's apparently 104 Fahrenheit. So
that's warm.
That's warm.
Mal looked it up. I did the calculation.
It's true.
Oh man.
So besides dropping pens on the floor, I'm still sick and stuff, so still not fully here mentally because my brain is just farting along the way while I'm dragged to up there somewhere. Yeah, I'm playing Inge, daughter of Ida. She is a dwarf of the Erebor and a stonemason by trade. She has a cool axe and a cooler pony. His name is Lilleman, the real MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Most valuable pony. Yeah.
As we've said on many occasions. Until she gets in trouble, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe, he's not as helpful, or,
well, I mean, you constantly threat him with death, so that's the thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
We can show you evidence.
yeah. We have video
We
evidence.
have video evidence that makes it true.
Yeah.
Well, I am very excited to have Terry back with us, and very much looking forward to seeing how everything goes with Inga and how Little Mon manages things through this, war that's about to happen. Also, I'm aware, chat, that we're chugging a little bit with the frames. I'm working on fixing them. Moving right on down the line, last but certainly not least, of course, we have someone who is prepared to go off on massive world adventures and travel and all that, and that, of course, is Amal Almatar. Hello, Amal.
Hello.
So is this travel, have I stated it correctly? You're about to go flying off to parts unknown, or known, I guess?
Parts that are actually quite unknown to me. I'm going to be, I'm flying to Vancouver, which is known to me, but then driving down to Seattle, where I have previously only stopped for dumplings on the way to Portland. And then going to San Francisco, and then going back to Seattle, and then going to Boston, and then coming back to Ottawa for a brief respite before then going to Dublin, and then Glasgow, and then London. So lots of travel this summer. That's why, sadly, I will not be able to make it to Gen Con, but there's a lot of other places I'm going to instead. So yeah, and I start tomorrow. Tomorrow I fly to Vancouver, so I am very very gestures flappily is how I am.
Okay.
But yes, I'm also hungry. Man, I should have timed things better here. But yeah, besides that, I play a character called the River, who's a woodsman of Rosgobel, and she, accompanied by her faithful hound Stone, are very, very keen on slicing up some assholes, oppressing people. So yeah.
Very cool. I look forward to seeing how exactly all of that happens. And I do need to, as I'm in the process of doing this, I need to beg everyone's indulgence for just a second while I try to fix my frame issues, which will just be a second, I hope. So bear with me for just a moment whilst I get things working. Talk amongst yourselves.
Moving.
Hey,
on.
while you do that, maybe I'll just go find a food. I'll be right back.
That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm just gonna sit here and think.
Yeah. I already ate off the stream, so.
How are you doing, Twitch chat? Who have we got? Shadow Mage,
Twitchy chats.
Elvilmarinen. I say names.
Elf Ilmarinen, that's my boyfriend, by the way. Hi, Elf!
Oh, hey! Sweet, we're meeting people. We're making friends.
Can confirm those temperatures in the German climate are horrible. You think everything in Germany is horrible, so.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he's Dutch, that's kind of like required, like the Dutch hate everybody.
Well, a lot of people don't like the Dutch.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is, by the way, not what I've wanted us to be talking about. Sorry.
I mean, listen, you guys will have to solve this battle for yourselves. I don't know whether.
Oh, we tried that like roughly 7
We
years
tried. Oh dear.
Oh my goodness.
Too fun.
Okay. I have Will now fixed.
Haha.
My frames are
It's
still
been
working,
fixed.
so that's good.
I'm fixed.
I have Trendane fixed, so that's good. Okay. Now I just need to get Mal and Terry fixed. So.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, so now I have to entertain the audience.
Exactly. Well.
Because I'm so great at entertaining.
Yeah, this is what you get for having been better prepared than everybody else. So
I was actually running late. How is this possible?
I know. Well,
Like, I've been sitting at the doctor's office for like about 2 hours just waiting. I mean, granted, they had air conditioning, so it wasn't that bad, but still.
So I do actually have one. Okay. Oh God, Will did that. I was like, why is there a black screen there? And I'm like, because there's a black screen where he is. I'm like, okay. So I do have one question, Terry, which is, so I remember you talking about last year about it being right around this time, about it being super hot, and I can't remember whether you said that Germany was used to having weather that they like. Not used to it, but like whether you had, like, for example, in the Pacific Northwest where I am right now, it's like 50 degrees a lot of the time. Like, and I brought this sweater thinking as like a last second throw in, and I'm like, yeah, you know, and it's a good thing I brought it because I need it all the time. So I'm wondering is Germany like that unprepared for weather like this, or do you have like much of the air conditioning going on, or like?
Well, I mean, like 40 degrees being a thing at all has not been a thing when I was a kid. Like, that's because of global warming. Like, that was not a thing. Like, the hottest we ever got when I was a kid was like 35 degrees, maybe 36 Celsius. And that was like, okay, that is like all the schools are closing for that time. Parents are not letting the kids outside because of them being afraid of getting, what do you call that? Like when you get like a headache and collapse from the heat.
Yeah, heat stroke.
Heat stroke, yes, that. So, like now that it's like a thing that we get every year, like sometimes up to 40 degrees or more, like that's a completely new thing. And like kind of houses here are designed to keep the cold out and the warm in, kind of. So
I wonder if there's going to be a whole new set of construction then that has to take place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like now it being like a thing that you have air conditioning in like public buildings. That was not a thing either when I was a kid. Like very, very rarely. Now we have air conditioning in buses and stuff like that too. It was also not a thing when I was a kid.
Interesting.
So.
Same way in the UK. When we lived there and it got hot, it just stayed hot in the house. Just like they're really well insulated, and so the heat just the houses are built just to maintain the heat. So when it gets really hot, it's just like swampy. And there's nothing you can do about it because there's no AC.
Yeah, I mean, like one very common sight is that people just put wet towels in their windows in the hope that that will cool down the house. Like I'm lucky that my grandma was so what you call it, crafty. Like she told me a bunch of tricks to keep the house cool. Like just like make sure when to open what windows and when to keep what doors closed and stuff like that. So very useful information. But yeah, like air conditioning in private houses is almost unheard of. Like I don't think I've ever met anybody with air conditioning in their home. Like at best they have a ceiling fan. That's like the fanciest you will see here.
Yeah, my father, we had a log home that I basically spent about 6 years in, and my dad always used to say, like, oh, you know, the key is to just make sure that you don't move around too much. So he was always a fan of, like, when it's hot at night, you just sort of lay still. I'm like, and melt is the way that works.
Yeah.
Like, eventually he gave in and he got air conditioning in one guest room, but he was so dedicated to the idea that log homes had this, like, superior insulation that it was, he was committed. He was committed to himself, to things. When he did stuff. Okay. Make sure I don't. Oh, not quite. Okay. All right. I think that takes care of that. So now I think we have fixed the overwhelming majority of our problems. Thank God. At least for the short term. I'll tell you what, the life of a streamer, it is interesting. Okay.
At some point we'll start playing, maybe.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. All right, here we go. So let us get into this. Here we go. Lovely. Let us get into it. Let's do it. So, the party has spent the last few sessions dealing with family matters, you might say. Things that were dealing with specifically family members that were missing. The first, of course, was the River's father, the Hill, which she ended up, with the aid of her companions and a new interest, of course, Ash, an escaped slave, managed to rescue and then managed to defeat the bandits that this person was actually controlling. What they discovered, though, was that there was way more going on than just, as they had suspected for a while, but they confirmed that there was way more going on than just this one bandit or this one group or this one particular set of people. That there were a number of people that were actually associated with some larger threat to Wilderland, and perhaps theoretically to Middle-earth in the future, that they had to address. As they beginning to uncapture or to uncover aspects of this sort of larger group or organization, they began to realize that there may be a connection among all of them. And as they are in the process of sort of working these things together, they had one other sort of person that they've got to address, and that is this character, Vigland, not Walter, although I sometimes get confused, Vigland, who is this person that threatens the northern side of Wilderland, basically the upper vales and places of that sort. And what they discovered in the process of this was that Robar Staunton's sister, Melina, was actually responsible for having uncovered much of this plot herself, and basically had asked him to come help her and help them gain back some control over their ancestral home. And so the party, after dealing with the situation with the hill and essentially freeing Roscabel from that threat, has then proceeded north while gathering together an army of Bjornings, a group of woodmen who, from the eastern side, basically from Roscabel and Woodland Hall, and have sent messengers to Mountain Hall. The problem that the party has discovered is that they have not yet had time to get all of their people together because on the night of what might even have been maybe the 5th or 6th day, I don't recall exactly, they looked down upon the sort of land in front of them and saw that there was burning and screaming and shouting coming from what was clearly an attack force near this place, which was in all likelihood Black Tom's, a kind of farmer who is a bigger deal than that. I think of him as kind of, to jump out of game, the William Wallace of Adventures in Middle-earth, let us say, a commoner who has nonetheless brought many people under his banner to try to resist this threat. And so there is clearly an attack going on, and as Robar and the rest of the party arrives, they look down upon this enormous threat and are now trying to decide what they need to do. And so I'm going to hand things back over to the party. I'm going to simply mention that they can see this, smoke rising. They are probably still several hours away at a gallop. They need to go at like top speed to be able to get down to this place, if that's what they want to do. But they also have to plan about how they want to arrange this fight, because there are, according to advanced scouts by way of the Eagles, there are hundreds, definitely, of people that are involved in this attack. Whether it is hundreds on one side or the other is not clear, but there are hundreds fighting over this, and the party has with them an army of about 120, 130 people, woodmen, Bjornings, and so on, and escaped slaves, all of whom are under the party's banner. And so as I hand things back over to the party, just before we get rid of the peaceful music that Amal loves, I will ask them what it is that they want to do in dealing with this threat. What do you want to do?
Win.
Get there ASAP.
Awesome.
Agreed.
We need to get there as soon as possible. I think we
Question.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, just a quick question. Do we have a banner, out of curiosity?
I don't
we
think
have
you have
one,
one yet,
please?
unless you made one.
I was gonna say, we had the thing where River's mother, the Weaver, gave her like a badge, but it never occurred to me that a banner might actually be a good idea.
Yeah, let's have it, please. Like maybe it's just like a mouse
Some
baby
merch.
blanket or something, not a mouse baby baby
It's
blanket.
a merch line.
I have a baby blanket. I was like, wait, how did she go? But sorry, yes.
But yeah, it's like
I think we planned on, when we spoke about this just moments ago, I think we planned on,
Pincering.
a pincer attack. That's right. Yeah. So that's.
first we need to cross the river. So
Robar looks away into the middle. My
It's
final
the Thousand River Stare.
so or if you said like even like a fast gallop, would take several hours to get there, yes?
Yes, I would say so. Now, I will say that that's assuming the army is also behind you. The army probably, I should say at gallop slash, let me say maximum speed for the army. So if you were just galloping down there, you could probably get there earlier than that, but the army obviously is not all on horses, so if they are like basically at a forced run, they could probably get there in a couple hours.
Okay, then I would suggest we make it across the river, take a short rest, and then book it. That's what you call it, right?
Yeah.
That would be the term.
So what we had discussed last time was as soon as we got word of there being fires in the north from the Eagle, we had talked about planning on splitting the force in two, right? And that we would have one that was going to keep heading further north to our initial destination, and the other to be coming round through the place that was on fire. Is that still the idea? Like at this point, it feels like we would be actually putting that plan into action, not just all of a sudden doing it.
Right.
So, so is there a revised estimate if we have a smaller force on the move about how long it would take to get there?
If you were taking just the ones who have horses, so that would roughly be about 40 of them, let us say, then you could probably get there in about an hour if you were just taking the horses. But again, that's 1/3 of your current force.
Right. Does that sound like some? I mean, does that seem reasonable? Because that also means that if it is just the horses, they'd also presumably be able to rejoin the party faster. Like in terms of what I'm imagining is like, here's the main force is still going north, the horses are veering off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if this party kept marching, then depending on what happens here, this force could then still rejoin at a time that was not going to be far off from the marching force.
Yeah, so I think, but the idea is that's only after everybody has crossed the river. Am I right about that? So everyone has to cross the river first in this plan, and then head north?
Let's see. The river is quite narrow and shallow here, isn't it?
Relatively narrow and shallow. Yeah, I mean, enough that probably there won't be a threat to Robar. So.
Will the horses be able to ford it just by basically galloping through it?
I would not say galloping through it, but they should be able to cross it without too much difficulty. But not gallop.
Okay.
You know, you'd have to take a little bit of care, but you could probably get over there without too much difficulty. And then the idea after that, according to what I'm understanding, would be that the horses essentially would go north along the river, and then everyone else would head. Well, I mean, that's the question, right? Like, do you want the rest of the army? You want everybody crossing, and then you want some of the horse-mounted people to go one direction, and the rest of the non-horse-mounted people to go another, meeting up in this pincer movement, if I understand this correctly.
So one quick question is about everyone crossing now versus everyone beside. So if everyone crosses now, everyone's also going to have to cross a second time, right? As you head up to, like, if we're heading up to the Vale of Gundabad?
No, this is happening, remember, in the West Upper Vales, probably about
Right.
midway through the West Upper Vales, so no, you will not need to cross again. If you cross once here, then you'd be over on that side.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, then I think that does make sense for everyone to cross now.
And then we send the horses to bolster Black Tom, because you send 40 horsebound fighters into something that is a huge strategic advantage versus just sending a bunch of people on foot. Because horse mounted riders are going to be a much stronger force, and we'll be able to bolster Black Tom's efforts a lot better than sending an equal number of people just on foot. And then the rest of us continue north and do the pincer thing.
Right.
So as I understand it, we're basically splitting our force to merge with this force and this force, and then bring them together to crush the guys in the middle.
Yeah.
That sounds like consummately to be wished. Yes.
The
Okay.
old hammer and anvil. Yeah.
Do you, in the process of doing this, I assume you're going to be sending one of you, along with each of these, 3 pincers, so to speak. Yes.
Yes, I think it would make sense for River to stay with Ash, and that way she could stay mounted, because Ash has a horse, right?
Yes.
So if River and Stone stayed with Ash and joined like the Cavalier party, I think that would make sense.
Okay.
I think it would. I don't know how Robar. I mean, I feel like whatever force is going north to presumably where Vigland is would be where Robar would want to go.
I think so as well. Yeah, if he's meant to be the sort of commander, I suppose, of these guys. It's his battle, so he'll go with the main foot soldiers to give Vigland a taunt.
Okay. And then, so let me just write these out in terms of colors. So we're gonna have one. Okay. So you folks are about here. So we're gonna have one group. Sorry, it's a little bit larger than it needs to be. We are going to have. Let's make this thin so we see what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to have the horse group, which is led by Amal and Ash, going up which way? Like that way? Like there?
Sorry, let me look at the thing. Can you do it again?
It's actually the purple arrow.
A little purple arrow. Yes. Is there I mean, we'll probably take the most direct route to get there.
Right, yeah. But the idea is that so you're okay. So essentially, then, like that,
Yes.
like straight up.
Sorry, I understand you were probably doing that to like separate it from the preponderance of other.
There are a lot of things there. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Okay. All right, and then not that one. Let's do that. Okay, let's delete that and delete that. Good. Okay. So that's that side. Now, Will, Robar, your side with the foot soldiers is going what direction relative to that?
So many lines. I think we'll find a color we can use here.
The way I figured is you're almost following the yellow line up to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even think.
So you'd be going like this, like the blue line I just
Yeah.
put there. Okay.
Yeah.
Like following the river, basically. Not
Yep.
the river, but the river.
The actual
Yeah,
river.
yes, it's confusingly the other
And
way.
then cutting west.
Don't
Yes,
get confused.
at a
Follow
certain-
this river.
And then at a certain point, cutting west, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, like that. Okay. And then, does that mean that Tani and Inga are going to be on the last part of the pincer, or are you staying elsewhere?
No, that's fine by me.
Okay. And the last part of the pincer is going to go up, over, and back. Like, in other words, how is that last part of the pincer going?
I'm not sure.
Let's all figure that out together.
I'm a little vague on whether there's a third pincer.
Oh, is it just two? Is it just two
Maybe
parts?
just two.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought there was
Cavalry in one and
Okay, gotcha.
the rest
Okay.
together.
I thought there were three. Okay, two. So two parts, fine. So then where are Tani and Inga going to be? Are you going to be with...
Tommy would feel like he needs to go wherever the wounded are, and he knows there are probably wounded at where Black Tom is.
Right.
So you'd be going then essentially with the River and Ash, it sounds like.
Correct.
Okay. Inga, what about
Yeah,
you?
Inga can stay alone with infantry. Nobody else is going.
No, Robar is going with them, so you'd be going with Robar. at
Oh,
that point.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's the way it always splits up. So.
It's a very natural split, I
It
think.
does fit. The buddy comedy continues. Okay. All right. So you're going to be heading north. So as you, must be a lot of lines of art because I know we said that last time nonstop. This is just a wholly unholy mess. We're almost to the point where we won't need to worry about these markers because we'll be leaving this area. But we'll
It
see.
looks like we're insane. Look.
Look at this. Okay, so let us start then with the river and with Ash. As you proceed off to the north, do you have anything that you want to say to each other? The party, the two in each group want to say to each other before you split up?
Don't die.
That's exactly what I was.
Yeah. They all turn to each other at the same time and all say, "Don't die!" and scare you off. and then like break the tension by laughing a little bit. River wants to kind of look at Robar seriously and just kind of. I mean, Robar is slightly taller than her, right? But she's still gonna like put both hands on his shoulders and just look him in the eye and say, "You are a good leader, and I believe you can do this. Remember who you are, and remember that you fight with all of us alongside you, even if we're apart."
I appreciate it. I'll stay on the other side one way or another.
Also, River is going to look at Inga and just hug her and say, "Strength to your axe."
Thanks to your axes.
I'll see you on the other side of the war. See you on the other side of the war.
Or in the center of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right there.
I mean, we'll meet in the middle.
Sort of halfway.
Oh, and Inga's gonna say, leave some for us, will you?
No promises. I mean, I will, but
All right. As you begin, if you die, I'm going to kill you. Exactly, Aaron.
Yeah.
All right. As the force begins to move off in its different directions, most of the ex-slaves who have horses, and then a few of some of the ones, obviously the woodmen who have horses, come with you. Obviously, the River and Ash, and Tani, and the rest move off with Robar and Inga's crew. And as you move off to the side, you can sort of see Ash kind of looks several times over in the direction of the other group that's sort of moving up to get ready to cross the river. I'm actually going to say here that the river crossing is. I really was tempted to make this a thing, but I'm not going to make it a thing. It's actually fairly trivial to be able to get over it here. So as you begin to get over to the other side and then move off, Ash looks back at you, River, and says, "Do you think they're going to get there in time?"
I think whenever they arrive, they'll be in joining battle. So I have to believe that whatever time they get there is the time they'll need to be there. I hope so.
And she nods and she says, "Well, if they don't, we'll be dead, but we'll have died well, eh?"
What else can we hope for?
And she looks at you sort of for a moment and says, "More than that, I hope." And she kind of sort of gives you maybe just the slightest smile and then kind of looks forward again. And
River blushes a lot all of a sudden, but absolutely only because of the heat of
no,
the fire
yeah, definitely.
distance.
Yeah.
And looks away, probably accidentally towards Tawny, and then blushes a lot more and looks down at Stone and just kind of pets him furiously.
Stone, who's very just like looking up at you, like nuzzling you. Okay, we're gonna start with you as you head off at full gallop all 40 of you kind of moving across the plain. You are struck with the sort of wind flowing through your hair, river, and so on. You are struck by the sort of movement, the speed with which everyone's able to move, despite the fact that you're all pretty tired, having been going at a fairly good clip to be able to get up here to this point anyway. And Tani, as you are closing in, after about an hour's travel, maybe about 45 minutes or so, you can actually begin to smell. Now you hear the shouting and the screaming and the clashing of metal, and you also, the smell that has always stayed with you, the smell of sulfur, of smoke, of blood, that sort of rises on the air. This part of it is always the same, no matter what the battle. And there is a moment as you're sort of going along where you have this vague kind of memory perhaps flit through your head of past times that you wish you could have left behind, and yet here you are again. As you come to the rise of the last hill before down in Black Tom's, you are inclined, I would say, for your hearts to sink at what you see below you. The fortress of Black Tom, the outpost of Black Tom, burns. There is fire inside and out. The walls themselves are aflame and have fallen in many places. Everywhere you look is destruction. There are horses' bodies on the ground and the bodies of many, what looks like some warriors, obviously, with sword and shield and armor, but many more farmers with scythes or sickles, and just simple tunics and clothes that are lying face down in fields that they themselves harvested and tilled some time ago. And as you look down upon it, you can see that there is no question that what Black Tom's crew is, such as it is, there's not a whole lot of it left. You see a group of grim-faced men that are sort of almost backed up against the flaming walls. In fact, it looks almost as if Vigland's forces are trying to push them backwards into the flames, and you can see that they're sort of standing, trying to fight as best they can with the flames roaring behind them. There is now, in addition to shrieks and screams, you can hear laughter, dark, evil laughter coming from the men on the backs of their horses, who are striding forward, urging their horses forward against the men who are trying to fight back against them but are steadily giving way. The fire is maybe 50 feet, perhaps, behind that last row of men. And there are pitifully few of them, Tani. If you were to take a quick look, maybe 25 of them now, if that, that are all sort of giving way against what is there. And so Ash looks back, and there's just a glint of rage that you can see in her eyes, River. And she says, "All right, what now? Do we make the call? How do we go?" And she's looking at both you, and Tani, and the River.
How many of Vigland's men?
It's hard to see. 75 to 100 that are close here. It's 3 or 4 to 1 from what you can see, but of course it's now pretty dark except for the fire, so you don't know how many troops are beyond that in the distance.
Right.
River will point towards the men on horseback who are pushing the men towards the flames and say, "There, you can start there. Tawny, you can find the wounded in our wake if we go and charge these people first." And she looks at Ash, and how many people we've got like 40 people with us?
Yes.
And okay, so and there are roughly how many people on horseback who are of Vigland's men who are pushing people into the flames?
I would say that there's definitely more on the ground than on horseback. There are probably maybe 20, 25 of them on horse, and the rest of them are just fighting next to them or in front of them on the ground, probably. So, if you figure 75, 80 people down there, maybe 20, 25 of them are on horseback. And none of Black Tom's men are on horseback, by the way. They are all on the ground.
Okay. All right. And we're all on horseback, except for...
Yes. Well,
yes.
the Bjornings, I guess I would leave that to whether Tani is on horseback or not. The Bjornings can move fast, but not that fast. So, they might at this point choose if they wish to sort of get down from the horse or stay on
Right.
it. That's sort of dependent on what you want to
We
do.
would get down.
Okay.
All right.
Before you get all the way in there, whatever archers you have, put volleys into those people. And if you can, as much as I hate to say it, take out their horses.
Right. All right. Do we have archers? I don't know how many.
You do have some archers with you. Most of them are the ex-slaves and some of the woodmen on horses. Of the group that you have, most of the archers actually did not go with you on horse. Most of them went with Robar and Ninga's crew, but there's probably a good 10 to 15 archers anyway with you. And by the way, they all have, remember, those pretty epic, awesome arrows that they've got.
Those epic arrows.
Yep.
Right. Is there any element of surprise on our side?
Oh, they definitely have not noticed you. They are more interested in,
great.
like destroying what's left of the crew in front of them.
How much is the smoke obscuring between us and them?
It's variable, so it kind of, the smoke rises and wavers, so at times you don't get you kind of passes in front of your eyes. At times it blows away. There is a little bit of a breeze, which is helping a bit, but not super much, so it's maybe half obscuring what's there. And you're still you're up on top of the hill, but you're not, it's still some hundreds of feet away, so it would be quite a shot to hit from this distance.
I'm really sorry to do something super aside from this. I'm just looking at my character sheet, and it's weird. Is there
It's weird.
It says looking for missing data at the bottom. Your data is in the I can't see any of the features and traits that are usually there. There's
You might want to reload. I see yours just fine.
Okay, cool. All right. Sorry about that.
It says, it actually says, there's a little thing on the bottom that says, looking for missing data. Your data is in the simple version that can be re-enabled from the, do you see that? From the...
Yeah. So, okay. I didn't, because I super didn't change anything. Let's see. Again. I apologize for this.
No, that's fine.
Better to deal with it now.
Yep.
Yeah. Re-enabled from the settings tab under general options and then feats and traits at the section to simple. This is super weird because I didn't change anything away from this. So, all right, general options.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what to say about that.
See, I don't actually. Oh, okay. Let's see. What's going on?
I see some things popping up. You're adding data, I think, in the right way.
Okay.
Looks like anyway.
But then
what data are you looking for? Also, Mel?
I was just looking for the songs of slaughter or whatever it was. The thing that I usually have there. Aha! Wait, no, sort of. What? I'm sorry. I don't know why it's all janked up like this.
Set to
General
let's
options.
see.
Because all of a sudden I'm seeing. Okay, let's see. So if it's core.
There you go. I just saw something. Okay, you're moving. Yeah, I'm looking at it as you're doing it. General options, feats, and traits. There you go. You just had it for a second.
Here? Oh, okay. So did they change some? Because usually I can see all of this on one page.
Yeah, they might have changed it on their end. It's possible. And
okay.
Yeah, I'll need to talk to Fender Saxby about this because they're the one that actually set this up. But
okay, cool. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna just try and ignore it. The reason I was looking at this is because I was wondering, like, if we could like come upon them from the back and have the element of surprise, at least for the first round. But then, like, at some point, River would want to like do the Songs of Slaughter thing, which gives bonuses to everyone around her within, I think, 30 or 40 feet.
right.
So to just kind of rally everyone in that direction.
So I'll take those questions one at a time. The idea about whether you can attack them from the back, you're going to get a little bit of a Sophie's choice here in that you are going to have to do that. You're going to have to slide yourself over on the hill. So you're on the hill, sort of looking almost down at them diagonally, essentially. And so
Okay.
to get, because you just arrived, so to get around to the back, you would need to move up the ridge of the hill, basically going to the north while keeping them to your west, and then you would
Okay.
need to drive down upon them. Now you can do that, however, as I just mentioned, they are pushing in on Black Tom's defenders, and so there's not a whole lot of room left between them and the fire behind them. So you
Okay.
can do that, but you're running the risk of, losing time and maybe some of those men by doing
No.
it.
No.
I'm not
Okay.
saying
In that
it's
case,
going
just-
to. I'm just letting you know that's a possibility.
Right. No, but she wouldn't want to take that chance. I think she like the speed and just getting there as quickly as possible is more like she's not going to try and sneak up basically, but she is going to, if there's an optimal point to wait until like literally announcing their presence, then that's what she would do. But
Okay.
like definitely while riding down.
Okay. All right. So.
Although, and she'll say this to Ash and see if like what Ash's thoughts are as she kind of recognizes that Ash is the superior tactician here.
So and Ash sort of says, "I was wondering the same thing. It'd be good to get them stuck between us and the fire that they created, but the problem is by the time we get there, there's not going to be much people left to save. And if that's all that you've got, well," and she kind of shrugs and she says, "Vengeance for the people who are fallen, but not many survivors."
No, let's do everything we can to make sure there are as many survivors as possible.
And she
All right.
nods. She says, "All right then."
So River's gonna look at Tawny and say, "Are you making your own way down?"
Yes, we'll be behind
Alright.
you. The other Beornings will come in slightly on a flank, but if you have any wounded, send them back to me.
All right. Let's ride.
All right, and as the party sort of prepares itself, as the crew sort of prepares itself, are you doing your Song of Slaughter? Like when are you doing that?
I think right before they engage.
So literally down, like as you're galloping down the hill, almost.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig it.
Yeah. That's the image I had in my mind is like galloping, like start like singing this like terrifying keening song. Yeah.
I'm with you. It's a great image.
I can picture they won't hear the galloping right away,
Yeah.
but while they're trying to push these, because the fire makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So they're going to be sitting there trying to push these guys in, and a couple of them will be like, and when they all start turning,
Yep.
that's when the song starts,
Yep.
when they're like right on them.
Yep.
Yes. Using fire and hoofbeats as percussion.
That is definitely the idea, and I want to remind everybody in chat, as you can see, as Ardnell just pointed out, we are at 3,065. When we hit 3,200, the party will get an inspiration each to use. So if you want to save Black Tom and the rest of the good people of the West Upper Vales and restore Staunton to glory, Robar Staunton, you'll need to think a little bit about whether you can support him here. That is just a nice little incentive if we get there. But
By the way, River still has inspiration that Nonstop granted last time, I think.
yes, I believe that's
unused.
correct. So good stuff. All right, so you begin to march down, to gallop down the hill. As always is the case, the charge is slow at first, almost ponderous, and then gradually picks up speed. And as the sound picks up, and as the awesome combat music that I want to make sure they play. No, not as the Klingon Star Trek thing. Just give me a second here while I stay. Fix that. Okay, good. Lovely. All right, let's get some music going here. Let's go with that. Yes, I love it. Okay, so the charge is slow and ponderous at first, and then you begin to sort of feel the thundering of the hoofbeats below you as the horses charge down. Tani, as you sort of run behind them with several of the Bjornings alongside you, you just catch sight before they outstrip you, speed-wise, of the horses, their mouths sort of flecked with foam in the reflected firelight as they charge down the hill, eyes wide. The sort sort of escaped slaves on the back seem to be leading the charge. Some of them wearing, of course, still their shackles, which seem to almost clink and clank back and forth as they go. And then, as the sound continues to rise, you get to a certain point as you're galloping down, and I think you would start this song of slaughter. So again, this keening cry, as you mentioned, River, and this sound begins to sort of pierce over the battlefield, and Ash throws her head back and yells in anger or joy or some mixture of the two as the group sort of goes down. And just as you described it, there is this sort of attacking back and forth, and you see that you catch sight of the weariness in the defenders of Black Tom, who sort of have this wide-eyed expression of exhaustion and horror and then sort of confusion, because like, why is this other group of people coming against them? And they sort of stop almost, and then the group that's moving in on them sort of stops and laughs, and then start to, very similar to the way that Trent just described it, turn around and look. And there is this moment of sort of expression of horror as commanders begin to shout commands to kind of turn, which is way too late to actually do it. I want initiative rolls from people, please.
And if the defenders are even remotely worth their salt, if Black Tom is anything of remotely a good leader, the second that the attacking force that's pushing them into the fire starts to turn, they will be like, okay, screw that fire. Here's our opportunity to, just get in there and jab them.
Yep.
Yep.
Not that
All
I
right.
spent much time.
Attack of opportunity.
Exactly.
Attack of opportunity. Right, I'm rolling initiative.
Nice.
Wow, cool. All right.
Outstanding. All right. Let me just capture the dice for just a second.
That would be a 9 for Tawny Bear and a non-natural 20 for the River. I don't know.
Which makes sense. In terms of how they're approaching.
And
I love when
again,
that happens.
The dice follow the narrative. It's perfect.
Yay!
We're not doing
Yes.
an audio podcast for this one like we do with Ivy, are we?
Sorry?
Just talking to Harv.
What about what?
Do we do an audio podcast of this one like we do with Infinity and Beyond?
No.
Okay, so I don't need to read to the people at
No,
home.
no.
right?
No, but thank you for reminding me. No, but no. I do want to do that at some point, but do not yet have the money for that. Okay. So let me capture that. That is not right. Let me capture. I'm actually just trying to get the dice roller up. Okay. I don't know why that's not working. I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay, we are now at 3,110.
Oh, we are.
Yes, we are.
Oh,
Did not update yet. Give me the update. Yes, we are. 3110. Yay! Thank you.
Woohoo!
That means that somebody actually upped their pledge, which is extremely nice of them. Thank you so much. It means we're only $90 away. It also means that we'll be able to do a giveaway towards the end here, which is awesome. So thank you very much. That is super nice of you. Thank you. And let me move that into place. It is amazing how much more of a pain display capture.
That's right, Arant. We're going to give him a good poke with a sharp stick.
There we go. Alrighty. Thank you very much. So $90 away from inspirations for the party. All right. So we're gonna have to skip the dice roller for today because I don't want to take the time to figure out why it's not doing it. So all right, get this up here and let me find out what they're doing. Right. Good. Lovely. All right. Okay, so we have Tani with a 9, and we've got the River with a 20. Says the river is inspired by life. Okay.
And the possibility of death.
indeed. Is it possible to?
This is the sequence. This is the sequence in Dark Knight Returns, which I think is the best sequence in the film, where Bruce Wayne is trying to get out of the pit, and the guy's like,
God, yeah.
that scene where they're, oh no, they're like, rise, and he's just like, and the old guy is just kind of like, he's like, you must regain your fear of death. It's the best. Oh man. Okay, so right, we will start then with, not surprisingly, they are rather caught off guard by what you have done. Okay. So I'm going to give you a chance to actually get an attack in on them.
Okay.
So this is being done sort of in kind of a mass battle sort of way. So
Right.
your forces will get a chance to operate and you will get a chance to attack individually. And then your force will do a certain amount of damage or have a certain amount of damage done to it. So as you come down, you've got 40 people to start with. As I say, they have got probably about 75 or 80. So we will see
Right.
what the effect of this is. So so you can now make your attack if you wish, River. You're doing your song of slaying. So
Yep.
how are you going to coordinate this? You've got, again, some on horse, some on the ground. Are you going to try to, run into them? Are you going to try to attack someone on horseback? You don't actually even know what Vigeland looks like, but you don't
No.
see anyone that would obviously be that person with a bodyguard or anything either.
So my sense of how to deploy them first would be like to do what Tawny suggested in the first place, to have the archers launch a volley first before before River like takes her own strike at them.
Right. Okay.
I'm imagining her on horseback with Ash, and for like the first attack to basically be a kind of double axe, like, beheading situation as she rides in, at which point she'll get off the horse and be in melee.
Okay, so the archers. So what I will have you do is I'm actually going to have you make a ranged attack. We're going to call that the archer's attack. Then I'm going to have you do your beheading thing, and we're going to see how that works with you and your melee crew. So you were in essence acting as the entire army. Let's put it that way.
And can the Songs of Slaying bonus be applied to the archers?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, it
okay,
can.
great.
Yep.
So so I'm just gonna roll a d20, or
Yep. And you're going to be making essentially what would be for you. Yes, it's almost going to look a little bit like your melee attack, except you're not going to get 2 attacks. You're just getting the single attack for a ranged attack. So you're going to make a dexterity attack basically, and add your bonus to it, your dexterity bonus to it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so let me figure out the best way to do this.
It's improvised basically.
Right, because it's like because River herself is not fighting in a ranged way. So so this means everybody is getting an additional d4 on this attack roll.
Yep.
I'm gonna add it to the attack and not to the damage.
Yep. Okay.
So it'll be d20 plus 4 plus
Plus
the
1d4.
bonus.
Right? It was 20 plus. Isn't it 1d4, not 4? It's
So yeah, 1d. Yeah, that's what
20
I meant.
plus
So
1d4 plus your plus your dex.
dex bonus,
Mm-hmm.
which is 3. Right. Okay. So I'm just gonna roll them individually rather than figure out. So for d20.
Okay.
Oh, presumably she can't use her inspiration on this roll because it's everybody else, right?
Correct. She'll be. You
Right.
can use your inspiration on your own attack. But
Gotcha. Okay. All right, here goes. So that's
13 plus your
Right.
dex is
But-
3, so 16 plus 1d4, right?
yeah,
So just roll that 1d4.
4. Ah, what? Sorry, I just. I'm sorry.
Plus 1,000 fours. No.
I'll just do that again, shall I? Except 1 this time. Okay, that was the first of them anyway.
So 18, I believe, if I got that all correct.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that is. So the arrows fly like dying sparks, embers in a flame, and strike some of the men off the horses. With one through the throat. Several others sort of stagger backwards. There is now already mass confusion, but instead of them all being super excited about themselves, they're now sort of panicked. They are turned back and starting to kind of rally to try to meet you. At which point your melee attack happens because you're now upon them. Did you say you're leaping off your horse? I'm sorry, or that you're...
No, first horse, she's going to attack from the horse with both axes.
Got it.
And and she's going to use inspiration for this.
Okay.
That is officially, if you've never seen it, that is an intimidating sight.
Oh yeah.
Someone riding at you like that.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So I believe that'll be 21 and 19.
Both will hit.
Okay. So I keep on, by the way, as I'm hitting things, I keep getting something from the roller that says no attribute was found for at the river global damage mod. I don't know what's going on there.
So we're gonna have to. Yeah, I need to remember. Okay, so I'm gonna have to definitely make a note to ask Fender to check into the what it is that's going on with this. And actually, what would be helpful, because they're in our Discord channel now. If you could afterwards just drop in the Discord, just ask Fender and let them know. What specifically you're seeing, because I don't see it on my end. Then that way they can kind of try to correct it, because they would know better than I would.
I'm gonna figure out how to do a screenshot and then I'll get it.
Okay.
But, in the meantime, that is 8 and 6, so 14 damage.
14. Okay. So your attack comes down. There is a sort of hit. They fall backwards a little bit, and the one that you're fighting right now, which is sort of a big, burly one who's got a spear and a shield, you pierce through their defenses, and he kind of staggers back a little bit, and kind of breathing heavily, and then sort of pulls himself up with a roar to come back at you again. So now you're going to jump off the horse, or you're going to stay. Now you're getting off, or you're still staying on. Good call.
Yeah, I was gonna get off, but now I'm wondering if spreading the damage around isn't a better idea to stay to keep attacking from the horse. What is Ash gonna do?
You're gonna have to wait till Ash's turn. You don't know yet.
Oh right. Okay. Oh right, and there's also Stone. Sorry, Stone is with them.
Yep.
Yeah, she's gonna jump down and be with Stone.
Okay. All right. And speaking of Stone, Stone is going to get a chance to go next. And then we'll talk about Tani. And don't worry, Robarning, I have not forgotten you. Your time is coming soon. All right.
Okay. So Stone?
Yep. So Stone attacking the same dude you did, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's
yeah.
Apparently Stone's not happy either.
9.
Okay.
Oh, Stone.
So.
It's strength save.
Yep. That's exactly why I'm looking up right now. What the
Strength of the men of Hench would be.
Henchmen are typically what? Okay. All right. What's the difficulty? What is it?
13.
DC 13.
Okay. They do make that, so they do not fall backwards. So Stone kind of leaps upon them. He kind of shoves him off with his shield arm. Stone kind of hits the ground, growling fiercely. Okay, and that is your turn. There's incredible heat, by the way, because you've got this fire in front of you, a good 50, 60 feet in front of you maybe. And these evil men between you and the ones that you're supposed to be hopefully defending. Now the bad guys get a chance to go. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it totally just occurred to me that before leaving Radagast, we should have said, hey, remember that bag of storms that you didn't give us before because that would have made us too observable magic-wise? How about we get that?
Yes, sadly, that was not a conversation that was had. Unfortunately. Okay, so the bad guys go. So, first of all, the ones that are attacking you, River, come in. Let's see, that's going to be an 11. It's probably not going to do it, right?
Nope.
Okay. And then a second one comes up on Stone. That's going to be a 20, though, I think, on Stone.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah, it's 7 points of damage. His spear kind of pierces his side, and he actually pierces his side and then basically yanks. So Stone is like pushed over onto his side, and I need him to make a strength save for me. It's actually very similar to what he just did to the other guy, except it's with a spear, not a bite.
Is that just me rolling
You can make
strength?
basically a strength for him. Yeah, his though, obviously.
Yeah.
Strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw should have.
I don't think it's going to
Not gonna
that's
make a
no
difference.
good. Okay.
So yeah, so he is currently on the ground. He's pinned below this spear. Tawny, in the meantime,
Big old John Wick on his ass. Oh my god.
As Legolas once said, it's knife work down here. And so they are now all up ons. And one in horseback comes riding up on you and sort of tries to bring his spear down upon you. I think that's going to do, well, maybe 12? Is 12
Nope.
not?
No.
Okay, so you sort of, as he kind of stabs viciously down at you, and the horse sort of like kicks out, but you manage to dodge back out of the way. Elsewhere, though, you can see that several of the, they're still trying to kind of stumble, to kind of pull themselves back together, and are beginning to get reorganized. And part of the issue is that your speed is definitely worked in your favor, but you're still outmanned by these, and so they're kind of not just rabble, obviously, they're sort of turning around. And you can hear a voice from somewhere shouting behind them about, get back in line, as they kind of move around to kind of get back to face this new threat. Okay, that is going to lead us to you, Tawny.
Well, this dude, I mean, I'm a healer. Everybody knows that. You shouldn't do that. That's like the way things work in the army, where with soldiers you shoot to wound, and with medics you shoot to kill, because they're the ones that make everybody better. I will have none of this shit. And so, Connie's gonna try to double-handed quarterstaff take this dude.
Let us see it. Let us make it happen together.
Which is difficult to do with a quarterstaff, I'll have you know.
Oh, so how much damage did Stone take, by the way? Was it
7 points. He didn't take anything additional from that pinning. It's just that he's currently like restrained.
Right.
He can't move.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
14.
14. That is going to hit just. By the way, you're aiming for, I'm sorry, the horse or the guy?
No, not at this range, no. I'm aiming
Okay.
for the dude.
Okay, so yes, so you will hit him, just so you can make your damage roll.
3 points bludgeoning.
Okay, so it's kind of a glancing blow, but it just sort of like knock him slightly backwards and kind of growls at you. You can see his face is just filthy, covered in blood, presumably others, and the sides of his horse are heaving and covered with sweat, and he kind of like leers and growls down. Are you moving away from him, staying engaged with him, Tawny?
Staying engaged.
Okay.
And, as the staff comes back, Tawny's like, that was your freebie. You can leave now or else.
And he seems to just like, just seems angry. You don't know what he'll do yet in response to that. Then you hear, come on, lads, our chance is now. And you see sort of walking forward out of the flames and the smoke, what looks like something, just an image straight out of Mordor, probably. This image of this figure who is wielding this axe. His arms, which are just knotted muscle, are covered in cuts and scrapes. He is dirty, covered in blood, dark hair matted around his head, and he walks forward with no armor. He has no shield, and he walks forward with a slight limp, and yet he sort of calls to him, and his men sort of give this cry and yell, and you must assume that this is Black Tom, who sure looks it at the moment. He comes forward and brings his axe down at the one that's holding his spear on Stone. And let's see. Oh yeah, and he all kinds of hits on that one, and strikes the guy and hits him with such force that the guy is literally thrown over Stone, like just like heaved over and lands down there. Stone yelps as the spear is pulled not very pleasantly out of his side, but he bangs on the ground, sort of hits the ground, and Black Tom shouts, "You can do that to something. You want an animal? Here's one!" And he comes up with his axe, basically tries to bring his axe down. Stone
Axe friend!
Yeah. So you can tell he's not happy about it, and his men sort of go forward. There's now just absolute mass confusion. Meanwhile, across the battle, Inga and Robar, you are hustling north, and you hear again shouting, screaming, and so forth as this thing is kept to your west as you are heading upwards. As you head upwards, though, you notice that, both of you, that there's this strange sort of cold air that seems to be flowing, sort of more cold than you would expect for the conditions from the north. It's almost as if you have this heat down to the west, right, from where the flame is coming, and then to the north is this cold, chill breeze that almost is coming from the distance of the Vale of Gundabad, Robar, which of course you know something about. And as you hurry your men around, you can finally get to the top of the hill, and you're now on the other side, basically. So as you look down upon it, you can see that there are now horses that are fighting, and a lot of them are clearly not Viglin's horses, which indicates that the charge has already happened, as you would have anticipated. And there is this fire between the compound, which is just on fire and flaming and burning, and the men that are in front of it, and more evil men in front of them, and then presumably your own people, although that gets a little confused at this point, were battling them. What do you want to do as you stand on top looking down at them?
We've got to help our friends down there.
You're muted, Terry.
We should help them. How far away are they exactly? Like, are they shooting distance?
They are not quite shooting distance. You would need to get closer. And the hill that you're on is not like the hill. It's not as steep as the hill. It's sort of flatter and more, gentle, the slope. But there's definitely fairly good view from here. The breeze that I mentioned, the cold from the north, seems to be blowing the smoke away from you. So you can actually kind of see on your side a little bit better than perhaps your companions would on the other end of that wind.
Then I'd say charge.
Okay. Are you all, I assume the two of you are in front? Are you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Inga just takes her axe, holds it up, and shouts, "Charge!"
Oh, we're going.
All right, so the men
goes
start to
down the
run.
hill.
Some of them yell to you, Robar, "Oh, which ones do we hit?" Because they just see a bunch of confused, people with weapons.
Is there an easy way to tell them apart that I could? Somebody wearing a uniform? But...
Not really. None of Black Tom's men are on horseback, but some of the bad guys are also not on horseback.
I guess I'll just shout, "Go for the horses!" because that's the only way to tell them apart. There may be some collateral.
They're like, "All right," they take out every single one of your own.
Better to ask for forgiveness than permission, okay?
Okay, so you are going to go at top speed. You're not going to arrive there this turn. You will probably arrive there next turn.
Yep.
And when you get down there, are you and Inga, are you aiming for a particular, are you looking for a particular type of, are you looking for Vigland? Are you
I'm looking for Vigland, yeah. I want his head.
Inga, what about you?
Well,
Or are you
I
looking
mean,
for your
she's not
friends to jump on, what, that's up to you.
Inga's mostly she takes care of what she has right in front of her in this case, so just gotta jump in there basically.
All right, so you will not arrive this turn. You should hopefully arrive next turn. I do need you to make initiative rolls for me, though, Robar and Inga, so I can add you into the order.
Yep. That's, that one for me, an auspicious start to my final battle.
Oh
Oh boy.
no! Oh crap!
My horse is a slow starter, I think. Yeah, my horse is just standing there while all of the other horses go in front
Forward,
of him.
animal. Forward. Forward. All right.
Damn it.
In case people are curious what they just saw, the initiative was a 3. Since I can't get the dice roller to work quite right yet, initiative is a 3. Okay.
It's not good, chat. It's not what it
It's
was.
not good. Alrighty. So. Alright, let me move them there. Okay. Right. Okay. That is going to bring us to almost the top of the round. Hold on a second. I can do math. All right. That brings us up to the top. Okay. River, you are now on the ground. Stone is still lying on his side, and so you can now decide what you want to do with him. You still got the guy that you were fighting.
Oh, she's gonna fucking destroy him. Excuse me. Yes, she's going to become extremely John Wick. Hopefully, unless the die roller makes a liar of him. So yeah, she's going to attack that same guy. Where did my window go? Sorry, I was screenshotting the window and I did it. So remind me who I'm going to need to send that to in a minute.
Okay.
So River sees him attack her dog and just basically like screams at him, "You cowardly monster!" and then just attack him.
Okay.
So that's 23 on one of them.
Okay. 23 on 1. What's up, Zach?
That's 6 damage.
Song of Slaughter still going?
I think that's good for 1, basically.
All right.
And it doesn't apply to her own attacks.
Oh, gotcha.
Applies to everybody else's.
Yeah, but
So actually, wait, it should have applied to Tanya's as well, actually. Sorry.
True.
So you can, Tanya, on your go, you can roll a d4 either for damage or for attack.
Okay. So right. Okay. So 6 slashing. All right. So you strike that guy. He's starting to look kind of hurt, but he's not dead yet. And he kind of falls back. Again, sort of holding his side where you have slashed him. And he just kind of looks at you with absolute rage. You can see that there's some kind of strange, beyond the dirt on his face and the blood and all that, there's also some kind of strange paint, almost as if there's some kind of like, not unlike war paint, right?
Right.
Some kind of dark war paint that is on his sort of face, and his white eyes are kind of staring, beyond it. Okay, Stone was prone, and music is too loud. Oh, thanks, Zach. Why didn't someone tell me that before? Okay, I will adjust that right now. Okay, is that better? I just cut it down. It should be better, I think, hopefully.
Okay, good.
Is that better? Good, cool, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so, right, so now Stone was prone, is able to get back to his feet. What does Stone want to do?
So he's got 20 hit points minus 9, was that right? Is it 11?
No, minus 7. He's at 13.
Minus 7. Okay. Yeah, Stone's gonna attack him again as well.
Okay.
Which ought to be suitably terrifying. Like, fucking struck him down with a spear, but he's still going. So yeah, Stone's just gonna go in for the bite.
Okay. Wow.
23.
23. Stone
Stone
did not come to
unhappy.
play. Yeah, Stone did not come to play. All right. That will hit.
9.
Okay. Okay, that guy looks very hurt now. Still not dead, but very, very hurt. And I'm going to see about this saving throw, whether he stays upright.
Get knocked down. And don't get up again.
Guess we're always going to knock you down. Okay, he is going to make that throw. He is going to make that save again.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Zach's got sensitive musician ears. Okay, so he nonetheless though he is definitely very very hurt. Okay, now the bad guys get to go. So he, deciding that stone is perhaps less of a threat, is going to attack you, but I think is going to miss wildly. 11 is not going to get it done, I believe.
Nope.
Okay. The other one who is engaged with you has got a 13. It's not going to do it either,
Nope.
I think. Okay.
Nope.
Down the line, their attack is not as effective. You do see a couple of people die or dropping to the ground that are on your side, but not as many as you could have feared. And so that seems to be working in their favor. And that is going to do it for them. That's going to lead us now to Inga, who now enters the fray. So now Inga arrives in the midst of this charge. And again, you're to the north of where the rest of them are. So you arrive ready to, wreck face, I assume. So if you're going after one of the, did you say you were going after one of the horsemen? I'm sorry.
Yeah, unless I see any of my friends absolutely
You don't.
nearby,
No, you don't.
Then
So then,
I go for the next best guy.
okay, go ahead and make that attack.
I guess that doesn't hit. 10.
10 is not going to get it done, unfortunately.
Why does it tell me no attribute was found?
That's
I
what-
was getting the same thing.
Yeah, so it must have been a roll 20 thing. So we'll have to get this fixed with Fender Saxby. In the meantime, you can. Well, it still made the roll though, right? Or no?
Yeah,
Did
it
not
does.
do
It does still make the roll.
Okay. Yeah. So it just means that there's something that kind of broke with it that Fender needs to fix.
So that's in the
does
Tolkien
it
campaign
well fit?
Discord part.
Correct. If you do, if you do at Fender Saxby. Oh
Gotcha.
wait, why is it not a? Yeah, not in the scheduling one, in the channel one, in the regular
Yeah, and the channel,
one, yeah.
the Tolkien campaign channel.
Yep.
Yeah.
So does it 12 hit?
12 is not going to hit, I'm afraid. Sorry. Neither one of those get the job done. Yeah, they are definitely in there. At Fender. Okay. So, are you going to stay engaged with them, Terry?
Yeah.
Inga? Are you going to move through to
Yeah.
try to find her friends? No, okay. All right. Then that means that we are going to move.
Oh, actually, no, I am moving through, trying to get all in there,
Towards what direction though? Like a south? Like towards your friends?
The center, I
presumably?
guess.
Okay, got it. Okay, now the so-called good guys go as they make their attack. Black Tom strides forward, still in view of Tawny and of the river, wielding his axe, bringing it down on the guy who dared to strike stone, and is going to hit again. And is going to wreck his face. Yeah, so he just like his axe right into the guy's chest. Sort of pulls it up and lifts his axe up. He lifts his axe up and sort of shouts, and again his men respond. And then an arrow strikes him in the left shoulder, and it kind of throws his axe back almost because it hits him with such force. And through the smoke and the flames, you can see, and actually even Robar and Inga can see, but just from the other side, from a distance away, can see this man on this armored horse kind of walking through almost casually. He is lowering a kind of bow and arrow, and he says, he yells out, "This is not your day, peasant. You had your chance to follow me. Now you have lost it, and your men." And so he's got behind him several big burly-looking dudes who are walking alongside his horse. Either this is Vigland or someone who really spends too much time watching the History Channel. You've got to assume that it's Vigland, and that he's not joking around. Okay, so Black Tom is kind of like holding his shoulder. That is going to lead us now to Tawny. And Robar is on deck.
Okay. Well, Tawny's still dealing with this dude
Yes.
in front of him. So same second verse or third verse, whatever. This next verse, same as the other one. That just doesn't tongue very well. So, schmackety. 9 is not going to do it.
But do you want to add? Do you want to add your D4 bonus?
No.
No. Okay, yeah. Hold it.
Okay. So unfortunately, that does not get it done. And the guy grins at you and says, "Not so handy with your stick, are you?" And kind of growls at you almost.
You don't want to get too handy with your stick, do you? I mean, if you spend all your time being handy with your stick, you're not going to be much of one in a fight, are you?
And he sort of looks over, is just like, what's this metaphor you're talking about? No, he doesn't know any of that. He doesn't do that. Okay, Tani, are you staying still engaged with him, with this dude? Okay. Rovar, that's going to lead us to you. You have now arrived on the scene right behind Inga. You see Inga did not hit on her first attacks. You did see, however, this guy in the armored horse. You didn't hear all of what he said, but he yelled something at his men, and you're pretty positive this is the same guy, even though it's sort of hard to make him out. He just has something about the way he moves, has the same arrogance that you remember from when you saw him in the forest.
I remember that arrogant strut. I'm going to ride on over towards Vigland, and I'm going to try and get a shot off before I switch to the long sword, because I'm a little bit better with a bow than I am a sword. So I'm going to try and lure him. That's the plan. 21.
Yeah, absolutely hits.
Woo! Sweet. And that deals... Oh, a lot of strange math, but 12 points of damage. Max damage.
Wow. So he, so it just sort of hits into his side, and he kind of staggers forward, and he sort of looks in your direction, and the two bodyguard guys, who are, again, big dudes, sort of turn and look in your direction, and he kind of sort of growls looking at you. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that he did catch sight of you, except you were running. So,
yes.
And he's just
I was
like...
just running away, so he's in the back of my head a lot.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Oh no!
And so he's just like...
I freed my sister from the camp with 200 soldiers around, so I was just like...
Yeah. So he's, so he just is like, "So you're back for more, are you, filth?" And, gestures at you. And his men look like they're going to be moving in your direction in just a minute. Are you going to stay where you are, Robar?
Reveal royalty!
Yeah. Sorry. Every given moment. Yeah, he's staying where he is for now, letting them come towards him. He might switch out to the longsword.
Don't you get to attacks?
Oh yeah, I've got to attack. Just kidding, I shoot him again on a 20 for 8 points of damage. Boom.
Okay. So
And
sorry,
then I
for
put my
8 more,
bow on my...
did you say?
I probably throw my bow away or put it at my back and draw out the longsword.
Did you say 8 more points of damage? Is that what you said?
Yes,
Okay.
8 more.
Got it. Okay.
Assuming
All right.
a 20 hits, yeah.
Cool. So, all right, you do that. That brings us back up to the top, where the river is moving and stone is going to be on deck. I should also mention to both Inga and Robar that your men are fighting bravely. This crew was not as surprised as the other crew with the cavalry charge, though. So there's a lot of back and forth going on down here, and you can see more men on this side of it, Robar and Inga. Okay, River, you're up.
Right. She's gonna keep on going for this guy.
Okay.
Although wait, so okay, let me clear all this then. We are actually all kind of on the same battlefield.
Yes,
in as
but
much
you are
as
farther to the south. They are farther
Right.
to the north, and you really can't see each other. The only thing you can commonly see is Vigland. Both of you see
Right.
on from different sides.
Right. Okay.
I mean, you can see Tani, obviously, but you can't see Inga or
Yeah.
Robar.
Yeah. And Vigland is like he's riding towards Tom, who he has just shot.
Yes, although you can't see Robar yet, though. But yes.
Not Robar. Vigland is riding towards Tom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Who has been shot by him? Yes. So
Has
he's
been
kind
shot
of
by
turned and he's moving away. Yes, that's true.
And the guy that River is fighting is very grievously injured.
Yeah, the guy. Yes.
Okay, she's gonna.
Grievously injured. The one who was dealing with Stone is not that Black Tom was on is also actually he's dead. I take that back.
Oh,
the Black
okay,
Tom
yeah.
guy is dead, but the one that you're fighting is still pretty injured. Yes.
Okay, all right. So just gonna stay on him first. So, just like still concentrating extreme fury on him for hurting her dog.
Okay.
These special arrows that we got, what do they do?
Okay.
They do extra damage. So if you hit with them, they're particularly sharp. So they do an extra 1d4 damage when they hit.
Does that apply?
Did I use those?
Yes.
That's what.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yay!
So just kidding. I dealt 25 damage to him.
Yeah. It was a really nice opening salvo.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you for remembering.
They kill stuff. Yes, they do that too.
So Riva's gonna do another 8 slashing damage to the guy in front of her.
Okay. He is now looking. He is not as previously hurt as the other guy was that Black Tom finished off, but he's looking pretty hurt now himself.
Okay, and Stone is also going to go for him.
Okay.
Oops.
22.
Wow.
He's
If he
just
had
a really
anything below
good
a 20,
dog, okay?
Yeah, like he's a
Just
really good.
great.
He's a good boy. He's a
Most of
good
them are,
boy.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, well, alas. But still, 5 piercing.
Okay. All right. He looks now extremely hurt.
Oh, for
now,
God's sake, really? Just
he's
die!
Not, he's not
Just
quite dead.
stop
No,
it.
they're pretty tough. Before I move on to Vigeland and company, though, I need you to make another roll now for your army, basically,
All right.
Amal.
Yep.
While she's doing that, you want to do the strength save?
Oh, yeah. For Stone. Good point.
Yeah. So I'm rolling another d20 for them, basically.
He keeps not going down under these things. His rolls are amazing for strength saves. Yes. Yes. You
Got
are
really
gonna
good
be
core strength, can I say?
Did not skip leg day.
Okay, so just a d20 plus my dex.
Yes. Plus. Yeah. The D20 plus Dex. But there was something else that we added.
There was the Songs of Slaying, but I think that's just a
Right.
one-off.
That was the one time. Yeah. So just D20
Yeah.
plus Dex. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I take this back because you're not doing this. They're now on top of them. This is not archers anymore. Yes, or is it? Are you having the archers still fire?
I mean, as far as especially if they've got those awesome bows.
They'll
then
be
yes.
able to get another chance. At that point, the Black Tom, I think the Vigeland's men will have engaged them next turn, but I think you can get one more shot off this way.
Okay. All right, here goes. Balls. Oh wait, plus my dex is 3, so that's 11.
It's not going to get it done.
Okay.
Even super powerful, awesome arrows.
Yeah. There's a lot of smoke.
Yeah, there is. No, I mean, it's definitely. Okay, bad guys go. They are now starting to get reorganized, and so as Vigeland is coming forward, his men strike. Yeah, it's a better round for them. A few more of your army drop.
No!
You also hear River this sort of like this cry, and you see that Ash, who is fighting someone, has taken a slash across her right arm. And
balls.
is fighting with her, still fighting pretty well with her left arm, but is kind of move up this way.
Right.
And some of the others have fallen. You begin to see basically the invaders are starting to pick things up a little bit. Vigeland is now on top of, or right on top of Robar, and is going to make several strikes. Let's see. And he comes down with not one, not two, 3 attacks with his axe, Robar.
What the? What?
The good news is that he rolls horrifically. 9, 11, and 8.
Good.
He's not going to get the job done.
Oh, this is a baby.
So that is unfortunate.
Luckily, my armor class is 12.
It's let's see, what'd you say?
My armor's been deleted. No, I'm just running hide. So.
Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, wait, what? Okay. So, all right. So he hits these sort of 3, strikes, but does not do it. Now his bodyguard also attack you, Robar. Okay, first one's gonna miss with a 6. Second one is a 21 though.
That might just about do it. Yeah.
Also
Might
with
get there.
axes. These guys are axes, not spears. That's going to be 7 points of damage, Robar. As it sort of cuts into your side. And you can now see that the bodyguards are basically trying to surround you with Viglin and his horse, like on one side and the 2 bodyguards on the other. Inga, you see that. You can see that Robar is now surrounded.
How close by is he?
He's probably a good 40, 50 feet away, I would say. You could probably get close to, because he's somewhat behind this, array of horses and men that are around him, so.
But if I would get to him, then I can't attack anymore.
I would say that you could probably get there enough that you could attack him, yes. Attack the people around him, if you wish.
Yeah, attack Robar. That's...
That way you can attack Robar.
Wait a minute.
No one kills my friend but me.
Back of the head.
So yeah,
This
I
death
run
blow
up
is loving.
and, while running, as soon as Inga gets close enough to one of the attackers, she strikes down.
Okay.
It's like
Going
"Get
a go.
some
Going on the bodyguards or on Vigland, who's on the horse?
whoever is closest, basically.
Probably the bodyguard. Okay.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Inga's very practically thinks she always hits whatever is nearby.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, what?
Gonna hit is
Jesus! Snake eyes!
Got to pick up the. Unfortunately, that's not going to get the job done.
But you get 2 attacks.
That's
I
right.
get 2 attacks.
Second
yeah, but-
attack. Let me remind Chad about inspirations. About.
Are you kidding me?
What? No! This
Wow.
is like the sign of the beast. That's like what?
Oh my.
No!
Wow. 2 critical misses. There's smoke. There's a horse. There's a bunch of things. It's just, yeah. It's so she strikes forward and does not, exactly, and rigged. Unfortunately, that does not get it done. One of the bodyguards sort of notices that someone was waving an axe around near him and kind of looks over his shoulder and, I see the little people are all that's left to fight for you now. And turns back around, sort of semi-ignoring you, which may be a disastrous mistake on his part, but he's arrogant. Okay. I assume you're going to stay engaged with them at the moment.
You know what? I keep forgetting this. I'm sorry, but River has Warden's Gift, which says you can inspire others through stirring words, through music, or by your presence alone, and doesn't have any further stipulations about how that works. So does that mean?
Fire.
Does that mean that River can literally just sing and everyone gets inspiration?
Well, it's a different kind of inspiration, for one thing, remember? It's not the advantage inspiration.
What? There's more inspiration?
I believe, well, yeah, it's, because I think you get an extra die, if I'm not mistaken, but let me look again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a gift die, so that means within the next 10 minutes, and it's only one creature.
It's one creature.
That can get one gift die, which is a d6.
Okay.
So yes.
I'm gonna add that in there just so I stop thinking. Okay, right, so it can gift 1d6 to person of choice.
Right. And that person, by the way, can roll the d20 and then decide whether to use the gift die, whether they want to use it or not after the d20 has been made.
Right.
But before I actually say yes you hit or yes you missed. So the die gets rolled, you see what the roll is, and then before I say anything, then you're like, okay, I want to use the gift die or not.
Right. Okay, cool. Excellent. Good to know. Can she do that can she do that in the same turn as an attack?
I think it might be a bonus action, so I will say yes. I'll have to double check
Okay.
later, but we'll say yes for now. So if you want to do that, you can do that.
Good to know.
Although that has to happen on your turn regardless, so
Yeah.
it's not a reaction.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, it will not redo what poor Inga's missed turns in this particular case. So let's see. Now Black Tom's men. So Black Tom himself kind of is, you could tell was like really hurt by that arrow, and is kind of getting forward and stumbling forward towards Vigland. Just hatred, in his eyes as he stumbles towards him, and says, "This ain't your land," and tries to strike out with his right hand, which seems to be the only thing he can carry now because his left hand is useless at the moment, his left arm, and rolls at the legs of the horse and is going to connect because he's a badass, and is going to do, okay, so sort of cuts, and the horse kind of neighs and stumbles forward, and you can see there's this terrible gash now on the back of the horse's leg, and Vigland kind of pitches forward, doesn't fall off the horse though, and looks back at Tom in hatred. Meanwhile, Black Tom's men do take down only one of the others. They're starting to get overwhelmed again by the sheer sort of numbers that we've got. Tani, you're up. Robar's on deck.
Same thing.
Okay.
17.
That will hit.
Do you want to use your dice now?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So D4, right? Mm-hmm. D4. Just one of them, please. So 6 points of damage.
Okay. Total? That the six.
Yes.
Okay, total. Okay. Guy's looking a little like you definitely have hurt him. Not close to death yet, but you've definitely you've marked him up more than a bit. And that is going to lead us to Robar with the river on deck. Robar, you are up. Non-stop. Okay. Most of them do. They're all kind of...
We can all use inspiration.
They're in a big fight.
Okay, I'm going to...
So Vigland in front of you and the two bodyguards around you.
It's got to be Vigland. I gotta get this guy down. I've already dealt with 25.
Yeah.
So
Inspiration for Robar. Inspiration for Robar.
Oh my god. Is it happening?
That was most important. Inspiration will go far if you give it to Robar. Robar. Robar.
I feel so inspired. I'm about to be inspired.
There's a very different kind of inspiration. Robar's been inspired by Non-Stop.
Hooray!
All right. Thank you, Non-Stop.
Take him down!
Take him down!
Destroy him!
Right now. Okay, 11?
What?
Wait, 11 is the best we got?
I'm sorry, team.
Do your second attack!
Second attack. Doesn't have inspiration, was the first one. 22.
Okay, 22 will hit. The 11-8 inspiration does not work, but the 22 does.
9 points of damage.
Okay. All right, so you definitely notice that he kind of, like, he's like, so, is he's kind of staring down at you. So, you decided you'd come back and take over your land again, did you?
Finish the job.
He's like, it's too late for your sister, for I've already finished the job with her. And he points over, and you can see against the wall, pointing against the wall, you can see the slumped body of Melina, who is just lying back against the wall. Now, it's not clear she's definitely in bad shape. You don't know if she's living, dead, or what, but she's definitely badly hurt.
No!
And you can see that she's sort of lying back there. And he says, the Stauntons will die the same way as the shadow sweeps over this land and brings us to the fore. Your time is over. So River, you're up, and Stone is up.
I killed them all! Destroy them! Yes! Yes! Hate! No sisters are allowed to die in any game that I play in. It's just not allowed.
Okay.
It's just completely... they have the same immunity that Lillimon has.
You bastard.
All sisters.
Speaking of Lillimon... No, I'm just kidding. Damn it, no! Like,
not funny.
Don't. There's like a psychological experiment. How angry can I get every member of the party? No, I'm...
Right, okay.
Full fury of blades, and it's gonna be...
Exactly.
So you said that someone attacked Ash?
Yes. You didn't actually see who it was, but she's definitely engaged with someone that she's fighting, and she seems to be kind of breathing heavily. She's okay. She's not in like falling over yet, but she's definitely been hurt.
Okay. And the guy that River has been wailing on is
Just about dead.
Still not dead. He's just about dead,
He's
but he's
very,
still not
very
dead.
hurt.
Okay. Right. Right. Well, okay. Since he's very nearly dead, is she gonna suffer like an attack of opportunity or something if she switches targets to whoever Ash is fighting?
She will. Yes.
God damn it.
Doesn't mean you don't do
Okay.
it.
No,
I mean,
fair.
you know, it doesn't mean that she'll get hit by it. But yes, she would. Unless I should rephrase. Well, no, because she'd have
Well,
to move.
still-
No,
Depends on
she
how
can't.
close
She
they
can't
are.
just disengage because she's got to move to get to her. So yeah, if she wants to attack this turn, yes, she's going to take an attack opportunity. If she wants
Right.
to attack the one that's fighting Ash.
Right. If she wants to attack the one. Okay. However, wait. Okay, I want to get the timing of this right
Okay.
because Stone is there.
Yes.
And so what I would want to do would be to have River go to Ash. Stone's attack is next. And Stone is gonna stay on that guy. So that's my question.
It's not going to help you with an attack of opportunity though, because it's not. He still has a chance to attack you because you're engaged with him. In fact, he has not been attacking Stone. He's been attacking you.
Can River hold her action until Stone attacks and then go?
Sure, you could. Yes, what it would basically mean is that you would basically switch places with Stone in the turn order. So Stone would go
Exactly
first.
what I
and
was
you.
about to say.
Okay.
Because you can hold your action, but not your movement. You would be able to hold the action, but still not move over there. But if you swap places with him, yes,
Right.
you
Right.
Which is the same effect, really.
So what I want to do, because what River's also going to do, she's going to see that Ash needs help. She's going to. One more question. Is there a rule against using Songs of Slaying? I was calling it Songs of Slaughter. It's actually Songs of Slaying. More than once in the same
combat.
scenario. It uses a die every time.
No, then I would say probably not. It just uses up. But you only have so many dice. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to decide basically whether to gift this die or to use Songs of Slaying again, which would give it to everyone in the vicinity, which I think she would want to do if she can. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that would probably. Trying to think of how close you are. Okay, so you could do this. You could take an attack of opportunity. You could move close to Vigland. You could do the Songs of Slaying, which would benefit Inga, and Robar. So you would take
Right.
the attack of opportunity, but you would then be benefiting both of them.
Are they close enough that I can actually get to them? I thought they were super far from me.
No, they're not super far anymore. Excuse me. They're not
So
super
our
far
armies have
anymore.
actually
The combat,
converged.
remember, has been moving where both sides have gradually been moving towards each other, and Vigland was the centerpiece. So now that Vigland is like, as you're moving close to him, everybody's getting compressed. Is basically the point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so our pincer has actually happened. We are.
Yeah, but you still don't
Okay.
see them. This is basically something. What I'm allowing on this is because you know that Vigland is now yelling at and screaming at Robar, so you know he's got to be close by. That's basically why you're able to do this. 'Cause-
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, because initially, and where is Ash relative to everyone else?
Ash is a little bit further away from that crew. You would not be able to help both.
Right. Okay. And presumably she could also be helping Black Tom if she did this, if she moved towards Vigland with
Well, Black Tom is not really. I mean, he's staggering towards Vigland. No, not really. He's staggering towards Vigland, but he's not there yet. Vigland shot him and then moved away from him to deal with Robar. So he's not. Black Tom isn't there yet. Timing-wise, you would have the song go off before Black Tom arrives.
Right. Okay.
I mean, you can hold your action until after Black Tom goes, but that's way down the order.
No. No. I mean, so she'd want to do the same thing in terms of still swapping with Stone, have Stone go on this guy,
Okay.
and then so I'll just have Stone attack. I was basically gonna have her like start singing or talk or address someone while Stone is doing that, but I think she'll just hold that until. So yeah.
Okay.
So first Stone goes.
So first Stone goes. Okay.
Do it, Stone.
17.
That will hit.
Okay.
He will make a saving throw if he's still alive after this,
7.
and he is not. so he goes
Finally.
down. He's like, I could have been a contender. Okay. Bandit number 3 was a contender. Okay, so he goes down. Now Stone can still move.
Yes. Okay. So River is going to look at Stone and point towards Ash and say, "Go to Ash," and then she's gonna leg it towards Vigland,
Okay.
and just like covered in gore and axes like at the ready, and is going to start singing her extremely terrifying battle song.
Okay. Yeah, you hear this just sort of keening, screaming shout as she moves over in that direction. Now, I'm trying to think about the distance. Okay.
Also, we're it's nighttime, right?
It is nighttime. Yep.
And we are in a dark place, therefore.
Yes, although there's a lot of fire that's around, but yes.
Would the fire preclude us being able to? Oh, for goodness sake! Why does this have to happen here? Where is it? Blessing of the yes. Once in adventure, we can invoke Elbereth at night or in a dark place and gain inspiration.
You can do that. I will allow that. I don't think you're going to be able to do that plus attacks and a bunch of other things, but you can absolutely do that if you want.
But we can all do that, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yes.
We all have
True.
the blessing of the firstborn.
That's
so
true.
just FYI, friends. Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Okay, so you're moving towards them, shrieking, screaming, etc.
Singing.
Okay,
Singing.
singing. I'm sorry,
Let's
I
be
beg your
clear.
pardon. Yes, singing.
But singing
okay.
in a terrifying way.
So, Vigland
Yeah.
sees Robar in dire straits, and again says, "Your time is over," and hits you this time 3 times with his axe. And let's see.
14 is the CAC you're looking for.
I should say, yeah. I shouldn't assume. It's 21, 18, and 14. So
Yeah, all 3.
Yeah, sorry. I shouldn't have just assumed it.
Couldn't
It's a
have-
blunt axe. It won't do any damage.
I just took my wooden one by accident.
Yes.
7, 7, and 11. Wow. So 25 points of damage. As he just like slashes, cuts, and then just laughs, kind of just, it just shouts in kind of joy, almost this kind of fierce, angry joy. As he sees you kind of just bleeding, gashed, falling backwards. And his bodyguards come in. Wow. And both miss you with 6 and 8. Good Lord, wow. That was fortunate. But they are right there. Okay. Inga, you were
Wait,
up.
how much damage did Robar take?
25 points of damage.
That one's
He's
4
still
HP.
standing?
Yeah, 4 HP.
Better than I ever did. No.
Okay. Inga, you're
Love
up.
him.
Reveal royalty!
I think I've already done that, haven't I?
No, have you?
No, no.
What?
Okay, I was just trying to remember how often I could do it because my feet's it's like once per
The
adventure.
last time you did it was
At the
back.
open tower.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
while. Okay, I'll do that in a minute.
I don't think it's been this adventure. So yeah, staggering, covered in blood. Just fucking reveal that royalty.
I've got to find what it does again because I've lost it.
It's so good. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like
they have
Sailor Moon Tiara.
They have a
It's
belief in the
fun.
mystical power of this, I should say, honestly. Okay, meanwhile, though, we need Inga to go. English just could reveal dwarfness, I assume.
So
Yeah,
next turn, Inga and Robar should have the +4, right?
That would be correct.
Yeah. So this turn for Inga.
That would be correct. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So she gets +4
So
on this
first
one.
of, am I inspired at this moment? I don't know. Like at some point, but
I
inspired.
don't think
You
you're
can if
inspired
you-
yet, unless people contributed $90 to the Kickstarter. But otherwise, I don't think you've been inspired yet.
Or you can invoke Elbereth and be inspired.
True.
What was that again?
That was
Like,
when.
for some reason, part of my character sheet got.
Yeah. See, mine too. I was saying this. Like,
I don't have
It's
any
a
of
bug.
my feats listed right now, which
you, in order to get them to be visible again, you have to go to the gear at the top and then scroll down and change it from whatever weird compound thing it is to just say simple, and then you'll be able to see them again. But in the meantime, the Blessing of the Firstborn was something that we got from Irame, where once an adventure, when you're in a dark place or at night, you can invoke Elbereth and gain inspiration.
Dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
but who is Elbereth? That was a question. Like.
Oh, Elbereth. Elbereth Gilthoniel, more fair than mortal tongue can tell. It's another name for goodness sake. Thank you. Yes. No, God, no. For Lucienne, I think.
Oh,
I think Elbereth. I think it is.
Oh, elven hero.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Much
something
favored
that,
among the
that's
dwarves, sure.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, it's Varda. Yeah, the
I was gonna
Cinderin
say,
name of
I don't think it
Varda.
was Luthen. I didn't think it was Luthen. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The Lady of the Stars, basically.
Yeah. So up to you if you want to do that.
Eldorath was the name. Yes.
Elbereth.
Elboreth. So Inga saw like Robar's face getting smashed. So what she is gonna try to do is to make a path through the bodyguards to make sure that Robar isn't surrounded anymore. Like the thing is, by the time he comes around again, he will probably have been died by that point, so he can't get out. Can I like jump in there and drag him out? Is that an option? I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear you, Arv.
Sorry.
there
beg
you
your pardon. You can do that, but if you do that, first he has to agree to it, and secondly, you're going to take all kinds of attacks of opportunity from the 3 dudes who are very much not wanting you to do that.
Okay, so instead Inge is gonna jump, like basically jump through the oh god. Okay, so there are 2 bodyguards and Viglan, right?
Right.
So she is gonna try to get next to Robar and then attack Viglan from there to hopefully draw in the attacks from everybody. It's like,
Okay.
oh no, she's the biggest threat in the room. So first she gets in there next to Robar, like basically with her back to him, and goes, "By Elbereth, you will not hurt my friend!" And then slashes down at Vigland, basically.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Hit this
So
bastard.
yes, and using inspiration.
Of course.
Like, hopefully that
Yeah, hit
works.
this bastard.
Yes.
Hey,
woo,
there's a hit.
one. And the plus, what was it? 1d6 or 1d4?
1d4.
Before.
Is to damage?
You can choose it to be either damage or to the attack itself.
No, damage.
Okay.
So that would be a 10. Oh wait, no.
Oh, you have to roll the d4.
One.
But it's going to be a 4, so it's fine.
Right, sure.
Of course.
There you go.
Call that future.
All right, so
Yeah,
you.
you're gonna get to call all the rolls.
So
Are you making a second attack?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So that is first 10 points of damage.
Right.
Natural 20.
17.
17.
Yep.
Pass! Oh, 20! 20 points of damage.
Wow, nice.
Take it!
So you just like, you slash him twice, and he, you can see like the side is, opened, and he's got this like scale hauberk on, like he's, but still you manage to slice through it so much as your rage and passion, and he kind of, like kind of falls back. The bodyguards sort of look at each other, kind of press their advantage against you. You are obviously not going to be able to move away from them without taking attacks, so I'm going to assume you're on them.
Can I?
Or can you? I mean, it's up to you. Oh,
No,
and look at that.
I can once they end their turns. I could do that. I can get away without being hit.
Look at that, everybody, by the way. We are $5 away from that inspiration for everybody. $31.95.
Quick,
Very
quick, quick,
close.
quick, quick, quick.
$5. Okay. Meanwhile, Black Tom's men. Black Tom now comes up to Vigland, who's still reeling from Inga's attack. And Black Tom angrily brings his axe down. Does not hit him this time, though. And his wild swing leaves him open. The bodyguard basically, as he opens his slash, the bodyguard strikes back with this diagonal cut across Black Tom's chest, and Black Tom stumbles back and then falls onto his back. And there's this gasp from his men, and the men all sort of like stand around and look at each other. And then there is there's a pause, almost a sort of moment of silence, as Vigland is glaring down in his hate and his pain and his rage. Black Tom is on the ground. And then you hear this, what sounds almost like a kind of shriek or scream or call of war and rage. And from this distance, sort of through the smoke, you all can look around and you can see this call for the woodman from Mountain Hall, and coming through is Heartfast at the front of him, looking like 8 feet tall, like no joke, just, through the sort of shadows, bringing his axe down, just slash, cut, guys falling back in all directions. Black Tom's men, what are left of them, try to stumble forward. The ex-slaves in your armies kind of rally forward, and there is this huge cry, and flying in is this enormous bird that flies across their vision. It is clearly the eagle who has arrived apparently in time to warn Heartfast. So they're just, blood, chaos that's going down. Robar Vigland is sort of cast from his horse and sort of stands in front of you with his axe. He's obviously terribly hurt and is standing in front of you sort of one-on-one. You have a chance to get Tani's turn and then Robar. So Tani, what do you want to do?
Kickstarters cost $3,200.
Ooh! Huzzah! It has happened. 3210, everyone inspired. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Whoever it was that kept pledging up. Oh my God, Aradinel, please do not bankrupt yourself on behalf of the party. You are a super awesome person, but thank you. Having said all of that, thank you. But thank you so much. But yeah, man, be careful with yourself. That said, that's awesome, people. So good stuff. All right, so the party has inspiration. With that inspiration, Tani, what do you want to do with it? I'm aware that we're losing a Mal soon. So what do you want to do with it, Tani?
Okay. Well, what I had planned to do, if you would have allowed it, would have given me not inspiration, but advantage. Because basically Tani's had it with this dude, and he's got another plan. And everything around him is reminding him a bit of the Battle of Five Armies, and he's kind of starting to lose it a little bit. So he's like, okay, forget the guy. I'm going for the horse. And he just grabs the horse by the throat and just bites down on its face while he's just screaming at it as loud as he can, trying to intimidate the horse. Which, as a Beorning, he has advantage on intimidation checks.
Horse.
Wow. I guess I'm going to have you make the check then at advantage. I'm happy to have you do that. Even if I wasn't allowed to, I would still have you do it. That's great. That's great. I'm happy to be a part of it. Aradinel, dude, that is incredibly generous, and I really do want to encourage you to be careful because you've been so generous to the channel, but thank you. I'm honored, but,
This is the point where the AME crew would like to remind you all that no real horses were damaged in this
Exactly.
gameplay.
Especially since he rolled a 6.
Yeah, so you do that.
Nine.
They
You
really
do that,
were.
and the horse is just like, nay.
Just gently gnawing on the horse's neck. It's like,
You're,
I
like,
just had a piercing.
Little lick.
you're just nuzzling like,
Your breath smells like honey.
Nuzzles
Stop
the
it.
horse.
oh man.
oh god.
That just didn't work out. Whinnying. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, that's funny.
So the horse is not intimidated, unfortunately, by you.
Oh.
But Robar,
It's not. I'm sorry. What put that on Twitter?
the horse is just not
Horse is
intimidated.
slightly weirded out by you.
Robar,
Yeah.
Robar has a chance to operate. So Robar, you are standing in front of Vigland. You see
Yes.
your sister behind him against the wall.
Son of a gun. I just shout at him, "You lie!" as I try and cut him down.
Okay.
And I'm feeling quite inspired
Yes, you are.
when I do this. I'm trying to try and cut his head off. 23.
That I was gonna say not the 10, but the 23 is a good shot. All right, roll damage.
8 points.
Okay.
Plus 2 because he's an
damage.
evil guy.
Plus 2 because
Oh,
why?
No, it's a sword. It's not my special arrow. He's an evil guy, right? So I have. Oh, I meant to do royalty reveal. I'll do it in a second.
Okay.
This is bonus action. Servants of the enemy inflict plus 2 damage, which includes many evil men and other creatures that's
Okay. Yep.
evil. So
He definitely qualifies.
he's
Okay.
really qualified for that position. Okay, so I hit him once for 10 points. Actually, I'll rewind just a little bit. I'll if that's okay, I want to reveal my royalty first of all because I think
Okay.
that's what Robot would do.
How does that? What does that look like?
So yeah, I take a bonus action. I shout an ancestral battle cry. So maybe it is the Pharrell Baref that Ingus just said. Allies within 10 feet of me recover 1d6 plus 1d6 charisma modifier and hit points.
Okay.
So Inga will receive 6 hit points back. She's lost me. Enemy.
I'm already at full hit points, so.
Well, you feel good about it, all right? So,
Can Stone get some hit points back up?
Yes,
'Cause he's
sure.
on field.
He's an ally.
Okay.
Have my extra hit points.
so a hailstone. Enemies within 10 feet must make a Wisdom save, which is DC 15. Failure meaning that they're frightened of me and run away.
So the two bodyguards sort of take several steps back and then turn and just start booking it. And Inga, you can get an attack of opportunity on one of them as you go. Robar can't because of where his position. But go ahead and make your attack, Inga.
Just a regular attack?
Just a regular attack, yeah, with your axe.
Since she can attack twice, can she not get 2
No,
attacks?
no, not an attack of
Not a
opportunity.
reaction.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Well, I didn't hit anyway.
And then I'll come back to you, to Will.
Yeah.
She makes the attack.
I like to imagine it. It's like the agents at the end of the Matrix, where they just look at each other and book.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a d6 for Stone for hit point recovery.
Okay.
No, he gets 6.
Oh, he gets 6.
That's what Robar
Yep.
just rolled was 6.
Oh, sorry, you roll it. Never mind. Great, hooray!
So he's up to
Excellent.
19 out of 20.
He's at 19.
What'd you get, Inga?
An 8, I don't hit.
Okay, unfortunately that doesn't do it. They book, so they run, and Vigland sort of cowards. Vigland is not intimidated or thrown back, and he says, "The dying call of a dead animal. You'll see the end before this." And
I'm gonna hit him with my
Okay.
second attack action.
okay, do it up.
So I say, but not before you do. 17
Yep.
for 11 points of damage.
So he gets hit. He sort of gets hit again. He sort of falls back and onto his knees, and he looks up at you with hatred, and he just says, "You don't think you can win, do you? None of this matters. When the king returns, you will pay all of it. All of this will be covered in shadow in the end." He's sort of looking up at you now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my turn over, unfortunately.
No,
I've hit him
it's not your
twice.
turn. You have a chance to make a decision as to what you want to do. He's on his knees.
Oh.
Knock him out.
Oh, I don't know. This, yeah.
Off with his head! Off
What
with
would,
his head!
yeah, what would Rovar do?
Eat his nose. Oh wait, no.
Airedale's like coup de grace time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tough.
I
I
think.
don't know.
I also really have to go.
I know.
A lot.
Yeah, he sees his sister. He thinks he believes that she's dead, and he hates this guy. And he just swings with the sword. He's always ever a vengeful man. Robar
Yep.
cuts off his head.
Swings for the fences in Imladris.
The head goes. His head is separated from his shoulders. As it hits the ground, you see one moment of the mouth still screaming its hatred at you before the eyes are closed and the head rolls away. A great shout goes up from the rest of the crowd, and in the firelight and the flames, you see the motionless body of Black Tom. You see the blood-stained, strong body of Heartfast. You see the on one knee, injured body of Ash. But most of all, Robar, you see leaning up against the wall the motionless body of your sister Melina. And whether she is alive or dead, we'll have to wait for next session to determine. So we are going to close the session off here with the party having defeated the invading force. With what cost, though? We'll see.
At what cost?
At what cost? Great
Mal,
stuff,
outro,
folks.
outro, quickly.
Hey, outro. Yes. Hi. I'm about to travel a whole bunch. However, one thing I want to mention is part of the reason I'm traveling is that I have a novella that is coming out called "This Is How You Lose the Time War." I'm very excited about it. I co-wrote it with Max Gladstone. And if you pre-order the book and you send proof of your pre-order, which can be a pre-order of ebook, audiobook, or print, any of those. Send proof of that pre-order to winthetimewar@gmail.com. You will get an enamel pin from the side of your choice in the Time War. You have to choose red or blue. And also a postcard welcoming you to obviously the winning side of the Time War. So it is, and if you don't want to choose because you don't have enough information to know which is the side of righteousness, you can be a double agent if you send in proof of 2 purchases. And you will get both pins, both welcomes, and it'll be awesome. So this applies to any form of pre-ordering as well, whether it's online or whether it's in person from your local indie, which I highly encourage. Just any note from your independent bookseller saying, yes, this person has in fact pre-ordered, send that to winthetimewar@gmail.com and all will be great. I'm going to run away. You guys are all awesome. I loved this. This was fantastic. I really hope Melina is alive. Otherwise, I will be extremely, extremely mad. So yeah, let's all have survived this and go and do other stuff next time. So love you guys. It's awesome. Hope to see some of you in the various touring things, ReaderCon, etc. I will put a link to all my perambulations, and I'll see you later.
That sounds good. Thanks, Amal. I'll talk to you maybe off stream about whether you're going to be out on the West Coast or whatever. But we'll talk.
Yes,
later
yes, indeed.
Thank you so much. If you can leave your cam up, that'll be great. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
I
Great.
can.
Thank you.
I can.
Thank you, Amal, so much. Good stuff. And yes, definitely get all this stuff. Mal's a wonderful writer, and Time War is going to be awesome. I can't wait to read it. So yeah, thank you, Amal, so much. Okay, moving right on up the line. I can now calm down this combat music. As much as I loved it, because it was great. Okay, let me move to something else. Okay, I'm going to play "Dark Times" by Kevin MacLeod. I think that's appropriate. Okay. All right, there we got that playing. Good. All right. So moving right on up the line. So this was an interesting one, it seems to me, Terry, for Inga, because you had a lot of things where you were considering about, first of all, you're in the midst of like smoke and combat and fire and all that stuff, but your moment of trying to protect your friend and be there with your friend was important, and actually had a significant effect on the way the combat kind of played out. But it was difficult for everybody because you were separated from each other for a while. So I'm curious about how you felt about today and all that kind of good stuff, and where the fine folks will see you next.
Well, as always, today was very good. So, of course, was a bit sidelined today, but that's perfectly fine. I'm not completely there anyway today. So, but yes, despite all that.
That's about to change next week, or next session, by the way.
Yeah, I really hope I'm healthy by then, because I want to be fully there.
Yes.
But yeah, I hope not too many people, not too many friends died. And stuff. I hope Melina and Tom are okay enough. Stuff, but yeah. Aside from that, where will people see me next? Here, as per usual. Don't know when yet. At some point, one of those Tuesdays.
Yes.
Everybody knows by now. I hope knows the drill. For if not for this game, then for live drawing streams. Game book streams. We finished Sherlock Holmes last time, right? Or are we still on that?
We finished the first one, but we said we were going to do one more of those, and then we'll be done with the Sherlock Holmes overall.
So yes, another Sherlock Holmes book. So yeah, that's that basically. And I also really need to go because I'm about to pass out. I really need to lay down.
Okay.
Okay.
Go feel better, Terry. Thank you.
Yes, I will.
If you can leave your cam on, that would be awesome. I don't know if you can. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. See you, Terry. Always a pleasure. Moving right along. Well, Will, Robar finally got a chance to get some serious action going on with Vigland. That bastard. And we'll see what happens with Melina and everything else. How'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks see you next?
It really, there's nothing better than killing the enemy. So no greater feeling than murdering all of your family's enemies. So I'm in a great spot right now. I got an endorphin rush. I'm feeling good about the murders we've committed here today. Yeah, just all very positive, really. We lost a couple of horses, but we also petted a few horses as well. So what goes around comes around. It's it's all good. So yeah, what I'm most excited for actually about all of us is the sort of aftermath, because I've envisioned the murder for some time of Vigland, but now I have no idea what's going to happen next, whether or not Melina's here, she's still with us, and what's going on. So super excited for next month's games. But in between now and then, you can follow my my endeavors and shenanigans over at Encounter Roleplay, where there's a bunch of role-playing game stuff happening this very afternoon and evening. There are games being played on the channel, and also the Kobold Press stuff, the Twitch director over there, which starts up in July. So that's where you'll see me. Thanks for a great game. It was awesome. And by the way, big hats to Arv for streaming role-playing games from a Starbucks and just having no shame about being like, and you cut him down.
Yep. I had some people that were like, I'm like,
yeah. If it were me, I'd be like, so you guys are... That was very impressive broadcasting today. Yeah, very fun.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to have Will with us, and I was definitely glad that we were able to. I was excited that I'm like, once I got this all working, I'm like, it all functions the right way now, sort of, more or less, with display captures anyway. But thank you, Will. Always a great pleasure. And that leads us on, last but certainly not least, of course, to Trendane. And Tren, I really wish the intimidation with the horse had worked, just because I love that image, instead of just the horse being like, oh, thank you, so gentle, like, just like, God, son of a. I think your heart wasn't in it. You couldn't really intimidate the horse. You really didn't want to, deep down.
If you tried to bite the guy's face, it would have worked fine. Right.
But the horse, you're like,
He's just following orders.
Yeah, exactly. How'd you feel about today, Trent, and where will the fine folks see you next?
Well, one of the things that Will just mentioned reminded me of the scene in the end of The Princess Bride. It's like, I've been in the revenge business so long, now that it's over, I don't know what to do with the rest of my life. And so it's like, oh.
Have you thought about going into piracy? It'd be a wonderful career, Pirate Robbins.
But I think it went very, very well. I wonder sometimes what this game would be like if we ever had this take as long as some of our Infinity and Beyond things for ArvCon.
Yeah.
That would just be, oh man, Tawny would make so many cakes. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It really is true.
But yeah, right now, when Vigilin got the big slash in, the 25 points on Robar, I was trying to figure out whether Tawny would have seen that or not.
Right. Yeah, I wondered if you would too, actually. I wasn't sure.
And I didn't think that he would have. I got the impression that he was so focused on this dude with the horse that, you know, and just getting angrier and angrier and angrier that he couldn't, you know, because if Tawny had I mean, he's got a belt knife like any good utilitarian knife would, but if he'd had a bigger blade than that, he was going to slash at the saddle belt and just slice the saddle out off the horse and knock the guy off.
Yeah.
But
Because the thing is that, like, you know, one thing I wanted to mention, I mean, fighting against guys on horseback, well-trained horses on horseback, was really difficult. I mean, there's a reason that the cavalry were so more effective, and it wasn't just the charge. It was the fact that they've got height and distance and, like, you know, weight. Like, it just run you over with a war horse or whatever. So, yeah, I mean,
and you can let the horse trample somebody while you're attacking the person next to you.
Yeah, like, I mean, and they have way more speed, obviously. So, I mean, getting them off the horse is a big thing, you know. So, anyway.
But yeah, I thought it was a lot. this kind of got my tactical mind, you know, working.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So that was a lot of fun. But who am I playing? I'm playing Tawny Bear. No, I did that already.
You did it already.
Yeah. Where will people see me next? I think was the next thing we were talking about. I guess.
Well, we're going to have to talk about it. I mean,
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. I have to kind of arrange it. It'll be either this or IMB. My guess would be this would be like 2 weeks probably would be our next session, but I'll have to double check with everybody for this one. But IMB would be first and third if that all goes well, which would mean
the 6th. I think. Yeah, the 6th.
Yes,
it's the 4th of July weekend.
Right. You're right. That's right.
Yeah, that would be that thing with stuff and whatnot. Yeah.
So good, good stuff. It was great as always to have Trent there, and I do want to say too that one of the things chat might have noticed is that when Hardfast and the rest of them showed up, so that is not Deus Ex Machina. Remember that they had gotten them, they had sent messengers, and they had a certain number of like rounds basically that they had to survive as best they could before the rest of them showed up. And the arrogance of the invaders plus these folks sort of attacking them in two different directions and all that stuff all had an impact on it. So, and there were not multiple eagles, just one single eagle that actually showed up. But yeah, I mean, so a lot of this is just sort of the planning of the party leading up to this that led to this result. But it was great fun to see it. Yeah, exactly. It's tower defense. Yep. So it was great fun to see it. I really enjoyed it, and it was fun watching these guys sort of tactically work things out. And separately, it's nice that we're finally done with the fellowship phase. I knew this was going to be the mother of all fellowship phases, but I'm actually glad that we're going to be moving on to, with apologies to Robar, Crossings of the Selduin, which will be the next, which I think is the next stage.
My nemesis.
The next adventure, because remember, there will be no more fellowship phases in Wilderland Adventures now, so these next two are kind of linked together, so this is it. But I want to thank everybody who made this awesome, and remind everybody to please spread the word. Check out the AME shop as well, the AME material, which my players, some of them just found out about, so they're like super pumped up about all the different things they can get, so you should do that as soon as possible. But yeah, thank you so much as always to Amal, and I will hopefully be seeing her separately in person. Thank you to Terry, who I hope feels better very soon. Thank you to Will, always a pleasure, my friend. I can't wait for next month already, and Tren can't wait for next month on multiple fronts, both this and IMB. So thanks everybody. Chat, can we get some love for the players? And good work out of chat, by the way, too, which had to do some serious work with inspirations and the like. So good job.
Yeah,
thank
for
you,
real.
Gentlemen.
For real.
Good stuff, and I will see all of you lovely people soon.
Go away.
And now I'm gonna go as soon as I can do. There we go. Bye all. Okay. There we go. Okay, lovely. So that was good stuff. That actually worked out really well, and I'm really happy about it. And that was good. So He needs swimming lessons they do at the town pool in Orono every summer. Exactly. So thank you again, everybody, for having been really awesome today. Again, Aradinel, man, I just, thank you. I feel bad sometimes because you're such so great, generous, but I'm very grateful. And for all of you, I hope that everyone is going to be. Thanks, beautiful bear. Someone else jumped on board too. It wasn't just that, but still. We are closing in, folks, and as I mentioned before, Icarus and Jelinek is starting to make some progress, but it's been slow. We are getting featured tomorrow, and so that's going to be important that we kind of push forward, especially tomorrow, that we can do this. And so let me back up. So we're going to be featured on the front page of Kickstarter tomorrow, and so we really want to push this as much as possible. If you haven't supported the Icarus Jelinek Kickstarter yet, please do so. If you have supported it, thank you, and please spread the word, not just by spamming Twitter or Facebook or whatever, although I appreciate it if you're able to let people know on those platforms, but if you have a particular platform, whether it's Reddit, whether it's one of the other sort of local online places that you can think about, all that stuff would be valuable. And if you can, like your local comic book store, anything like that, please let them know about this. If you see other people tweeting this stuff, please retweet it. Please, if you have backed it, also please make comments on the Kickstarter. That really helps too, if you can make comments on the Kickstarter as well. And let's continue to kind of move up the line here, and hopefully with all that together, we can make a push. If we are making good progress at the end of this week, I think we'll be okay, but we definitely have to make good progress at the end of this week, so please consider doing so, because again, I'm proud of this art, and I hope that you folks are love it as much as I do when all is said and done. Now, quick programming note about today. I actually have an interview in about 25 minutes with a website that's going to be talking to me about Icarus and Jelinek. So I'm going to be doing that at 4 p.m., 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Then the GOG Pen and Pixels will be happening an hour later, so it will be starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. I will be on from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern, and then I will close up shop. I will pack up there. At that point, Starbucks will kick me out maybe. And then I will be heading back to hang out with my family, where I will be the rest of today and tomorrow and much of Thursday. Thursday night, we've got Emberwind, so Thursday night you'll want to stop back for that. And then Friday, we've got the Streamathon. Friday is the Streamathon, which is going to have not only Masters of the Dungeon with Paul Zega, who did The Clay That Woke as a game designer. Not only do we have Deus Ex Human Revolution, but I'm going to be doing other stuff earlier that day. So this is the chance for you. I'm really going to be pushing Icarus and Jelinek as much as I can, so whatever you're able to do, whatever you can think of that you would like me to do, which could be something that would attract and gather more information, again, within certain standards, so I'm not going to play horror games that are bad for my heart or whatever, but if it's about eating raisins, I would do it. If it's about playing some god-awful game, I would do that too. So we're going to just have kind of a fun time together and hopefully continue to push things forward. So please consider finding, think about that, let me know what you think, and then spread the word, because that would be awesome. However, that is going to do it for me for today. I am going to exit this game here in just a minute, so I don't have that music going on. Wait for it. There we go. And then sign out from there. Good. Okay. So, hand simulator. We will see. So that's going to do it for me for today. No raid, because again we'll be heading over to GOG about an hour and 20 minutes. So again, starting not at 4 p.m. but at 5 p.m. Eastern. I will be starting there. Thank you to everyone who made this an awesome stream today, folks, really. Again, it just makes a big difference having everybody here. Thank you to my, first of all, don't forget about all the things. Follow the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. We're sitting at 87 subs, so that's really awesome. Please check out the YouTube at !ArvTube, Discord at !ArvCord. Check out the website, arvanellarod.com. Don't forget my Twitter, !ArvTweets. Please check out the podcast that I do with Mike Underwood, SpeculateSF.com. Speaking of Mike, did you catch the amazing debut of Hearts of Wulin with Mike Underwood, Kat Rambo, Joyce Chung, and Saad with Lowell Francis as the GM? If not, you missed out. It's awesome. You need to go back and see what that's like. like, because I've heard many good things of it, and I caught some of it myself. And Emberwind, of course, coming up on Thursday. Also make sure to check out the Patreon, !Arftron, which you can see up there. And, of course, the Kickstarter, 321079 backers. Let's keep pushing forward and try to push that up even further if we can. And thank you so much to those who supported and upped their pledges and all. I'm really appreciate it, and thank you. Please spread the word. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Aridinel, Terry Tunes. Great job from modding from Aridinel. Again, thank you for your generosity, sir. And again, great work from Terry Tunes as a player. Thank you to my wonderful subs. Thank you to Arinel, Terry Tunes. Thank you to Nonstop for his clutch inspirations. Thank you to Arinth as well. Thank you to Beautiful Bear in a Tutu, Commander Root, Cycle Motion, ECAG, Electrical Longboard, Elva Marinin. Thank you to Gorgar. Thank you to J-Reb. What's up, J-Reb? Thank you to Lone Wolf, Lurks, Moobot, No Name Namer, Questionable Results, Second OBS, Size 16s. What's up, Size? Thank you to Slow Cool, U Christensen, B&K. Thank you to Vok RPG, Virgo Praz, W Shan. What's up, W Shan? And your arguments are invalid. It was good stuff. Summertime is construction time. Yeah, I hear that. Good stuff. Oh my goodness.
Thunder!
Well,
Thundercat!
thank you so much, Nocturne, who used to be known as Wenchkin, but I'm literally just about to sign off because I'm just about to sign off because I've got a stream coming up about an hour and 20 minutes from now. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be around much longer, but I have much love. I appreciate it. I do want to say, though, if you're all here and you're like, I wonder what this guy does. Does he have any graphic novels? Yes, I do. You should check the graphic novel Kickstarter that we're running right now, which is my awesome graphic novel with an amazing artist, Acela Fabio, and my story. If people are able to jump on board and spread the word about that, it'd be appreciated. We're really trying to push to get this moving in the right direction. We're getting featured tomorrow on Kickstarter, and so we're really hoping we can make kind of a kind of combined push with them as well. So sorry that I'm bailing out right now, but I just finished up my stream. I will be back, however, about an hour and 20 minutes over on GOG.com for Pen and Pixels and Pathfinder Kingmaker. Much love to all of you. I'm outside. No, I'm inside. Inside an undisclosed Starbucks. But thank you, everybody. Much love. Thank you so much to Nocturne for the raid. Thank you to everybody for being here, as I just said. And I will catch all of you lovely people very, very soon. Go and follow Nocturne, by the way. He's also known as Wenchkin. Really good guy, and is making a go of it as a streamer, and I think is making some good progress from what it seems. So go over and give him some love and support. But that's going to do it for me. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you in about an hour and 20 minutes or so after my interview is done for Pen and Pixels. I will see all you lovely people soon. Until then, much love. Be good to each other. Go support the Kickstarter. Catch you soon. Bye for now. Oh, and thank you to Cubicle 7 as well for sponsoring us in our Wilderland Adventures to Middle-earth play, because they did an amazing job with a great game. Now, go support the Kickstarter. Love you all. Be good to each other. See you soon. Bye.